Welcome in, everybody. Happy game day, and it's a big one. Texas and Georgia here on Texas Football. The watch-along is live. Our first quarter is brought to you by Backer Merchandise and Gear, and we're ready to roll in the biggest game of the year when with Oklahoma's victory just a little bit ago over Alabama. Jerry Hamilton, Jeff Howe, this feels like that win for the Sooners on the road makes this more of a must-win than it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, tip your hat to Brent Venables. I mean, I think 98% of us all had him fired this year. And to think that they just beat Tennessee and Alabama, and people can say, well, Alabama's not that good, Tennessee's not that good. It doesn't matter. They just won 2 at Tennessee and Alabama, and they're sitting there with Missouri, who's on a third-team quarterback, and LSU doesn't have a coach away from being in the college football playoff. Now that forces Texas to win out. Because when I looked at this, I had, and somebody else could get upset, right? I mean, Alabama could lose at Auburn, then they're 9-3 and they're out, right? But, when you looked at this, you said, okay, Oklahoma and Vanderbilt need to be 9-3 in case Texas is 9-3. Well, Vanderbilt still has the game at Tennessee coming up. They could, if they could get through their next couple of games, they win that one, they're 10-2. So that threw a little bit of a wrench into it today for Texas a little bit. And so they have the tie breaks at the win over Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, but they need to have the same record if it comes down to it. So it puts a little more pressure on this game, but a long way to go. The upsets of began. A&M almost got theirs today, but they have a little mojo working this year for them. USC almost took one. They were down 20 to, I think, 7 in that game, came back and won 26 to 20. So Michigan, last-second field goal against Northwestern, or last couple-minute field goal to win. So we're in that point in November. We're going to see who else gets knocked off. Obviously, Notre Dame looked good today. But that Oklahoma win, credit to them. They've given themselves a real chance now, and I don't think anybody thought they would.
Yeah, and Jeff, how the key to this one? Longhorns will be in the road Stormtrooper white uniforms, Georgia in the top red tops and the traditional Georgia helmet. This is a 60-minute game, right? I mean, the Longhorns have had a hard time playing a full 60. I mean, the second half of Oklahoma, first 3 quarters of Vanderbilt. There's glimmers of what this team can be, but on the road at Athens, it's got to be all 4 quarters tonight.
Well, you need to make it a 4-quarter game by how you start. And I think for Sark, that's, can't go 3 and out, can't have a turnover. I mean, you got to get off to a really good start. Similar to kind of how I felt against Ohio State. Like, you don't need to go down and get points on that first drive, but you don't need to go 3 and out either. Like, you get a couple of first downs, you win field possession. Look, it's not the sexiest thing, but both these teams, you want your punter to get involved because both these punters can control field position and flip the field for you. So if you're Texas, obviously take the 2 things that hurt you last year more than anything in these 2 losses of Georgia were penalties and turnovers. Killed you last year, and field position too. So those 3 things have got to be different. I'll be honest, I'm a nervous ball of energy right now. My confidence is not very high. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't have a great feeling as we get ready to start this game.
One of the things I brought up in the Aaron, one of the interesting things about this game, and I literally don't know if anybody's brought it up, and it doesn't mean Arch Manning's going to go out and play a great game tonight. This is a tough environment for any first-year starting quarterback. But one of the things that Jeff and I talked about in our tailgate show was, Arch Manning isn't the normal quarterback going up against Georgia. His recruitment went for 3 years with Georgia. Who knows more about Kirby, their players, their personnel, what they are as a program, what they do defensively as Arch Manning and the Manning family who went through this whole process? Because they didn't just – the Mannings weren't just people that said, who's your OC, who's your head coach, and your quarterback developer. They had a much more – complex process in that. They look at the whole thing as a football family. So does that give Arch an advantage in this game? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it's kind of interesting to me. And I don't know if it's been talked about nationally at all, that Arch really studied Georgia. And so that he has a little bit of insight on Georgia more than a John Mateer if he went up against Georgia, who was at Little Elm and wasn't highly recruited, went up to Washington State and transfers back into the SEC. I mean, Arch went through the recruiting process, and it came down to Texas and Georgia, and he really studied him. So it's interesting. The other thing that's interesting about this game from a player standpoint, Aaron, for me is twofold. One, you very rarely get a college football game where both of the quarterbacks grew up wanting to wear the jersey they're wearing tonight. That's just very odd. We don't get that very often, and that's really cool. But I think the major thing, Aaron, coming out of this game, we need to talk. If Texas wins, this will be a big reason why. Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill, and Arch Manning had their Jalen Walker, Michael Williams type games where people are like, oh, those guys. Colin Simmons, a future first top 5 pick. Anthony Hill's that's a first round linebacker. And Arch Manning's finally arrived in college football more than just his name, but for his play. Those are some big things I'm looking for tonight. If Texas wins, I think that's going to be a big reason why.
Yeah, the better quarterback play will probably win. And, yeah, big-time players have to make plays in these games. Against Ohio State, the Longhorns' best players didn't make impact plays. They played okay, and Arch Manning struggled in that game. Oklahoma, all the Longhorns that you needed to step up played really well in that game, including Arch Manning, Ryan Niblett with the punt return. So in games like this, you need your best players to perform. There's no doubt. And as for the recruitment, I think you're right about Arch. But also, if they don't go to the wire and go to the tape with Arch, they probably don't have Gunnar Stockton, because right, you can't really recruit another quarterback outside of Arch, and so you'll end up with this kid from the small town in Georgia because you're totally in on Arch, but Gunnar Stockton's turned out to be a perfect fit for this program.
Yeah, no, he is, and he reminds me, and I've said all week, not as a player, no two players are the same, but he reminds me a little bit of Colt McCoy in that it was his dream, and I know some people say, well, how about Sam? I think Gunnar and Colt are more the same to me in that, man, he grew up wanting to wear that Texas uniform. He was a small school player, and he was ranked. He ended up being ranked highly, but he was still a small school player up at Rabun Gap. Colt was a small school guy. It means everything to wear that jersey and be the leader of this program and take the ball in front of 100,000 people. Not everybody's built for that, and not many small town guys are built for that. And both of those guys have proven they're built for it. Now, that doesn't mean Gunnar Stockton's winning a national championship or Heisman. I'm not saying that, but he has proven that he's built for this, and he embraces it and can handle that pressure, because when you're a small town guy as a quarterback, that's a different type of pressure.
Yeah, we were at SEC Media Days, and he was asking for livestock for Christmas. That's what he wanted, cattle, which is great. Hey, our first quarter is going to be brought to you by Backer, a new partner with us here on the On Texas Watch Along. Backer is BCKR, high-quality, officially licensed Texas Longhorns apparel, clothing, and gear. You can find it online at backer.com, bckr.com. We'll tell you all about it throughout the broadcast here in the first quarter. Also with Backer, how about this? They're going to be giving away 3 hats tonight to folks who are watching along, and then a $350 gift card they're going to give away to one of you out there. I'll show you how to do that coming up here in the first quarter, and then again at halftime. But if you want to win that gift card, we'll give you the web link that you go to. All you got to do is get signed up and learn more about Backer. But 3 hats to be given away to viewers tonight, and that $350 gift card. Backer, BCKR. It's just in time for the holidays. This is good-looking stuff. You're going to want high-quality gear. All right, guys. So, Jeff, your thoughts on you mentioned the field position, the turnovers, the physicality. For me, it's the both teams' special teams are high level with all the great athletes and the kickers. Punt returning, obviously Zachariah Branch can return punts. So can Ryan Niblett. We know that. Texas's defense, it's their strength. They'll lead with that. Georgia leads with their offense. So if we're down to our third phase, it's going to be that Texas offense with Arch Manning against that at times leaky Georgia defense that has given up big numbers and big points, and they don't sack the quarterback very often. But Sark said, watch the tape. They have good players, but their numbers would tell you they're one of the teams at the bottom of the conference standings in sacks and tackles for loss. So they're not that impactful, live in the backfield type defense, but they're still very talented. Who wins that matchup, though, Jeff, in your mind, would you agree that's going to decide this game, Texas offense against that Georgia D?
If Texas wins this game, it'll be because Sark got in his bag, and I think the cheat codes in his offense that we always talk about, that we know that are there, pre-snap motions, shifts, bunch formations, targets to motion, all the stuff, the tempo. I mean, even going back to last week, Mississippi State, while they were still in the game for about 10 minutes, was able to give Georgia some issues with tempo. And that's another thing. Georgia this season, even last week against Mississippi State, has started slow this year. They are a terrible first quarter team, so file that away. But no, it's going to have to be Sark being in his bag. Look, I've seen some comments in the chat, the line of scrimmage is going to decide this game. It always does, but I think for Texas, look, you you have to strike a balance with the run game, and that's going to be Sark is really going to have a feel for it, because you're not just going to be able to line the ball. If you think Texas is just going to line up and pound the ball at Georgia 40 times, that's not a recipe for anything except failure. So playing off the passing game, what does Sark do with the run game and getting there? They got to get their outside zone established, because we know if outside zone's not working, then they really struggle to find counters off of it. So I think, again, for the Texas offense to have success, Sark's have to be in his bag. And to your point, Georgia will give up yards down the field.
Yeah.
You can take shots on them. Can it be executed cleanly enough? And the offensive line doesn't have to be perfect. Can you just give Arch enough time to get the ball down the field? Because if you can, there are yards to be had on chunk plays down the field.
And I'll say
Tennessee
this.
and Ole Miss proved that.
I'll say this, Aaron, to that point. I think receivers have advantages over secondary in this game on both sides. So which receivers are going to make big plays? I think both sets of receivers have chances to make big plays in this game, because the reality is neither secondary is as good as they were a year ago. Neither defense is as good as they were a year ago. And I think that really shows up in the secondary. So I think both sets of receivers have a chance to make big plays today. Let's see which set of receivers make the biggest plays in this game, because I think there could be some big chunk yardage, momentum type plays, touchdowns scored in this game on one side, whichever receivers kind of get loose against the other team's secondary. We've talked about line of scrimmage, and Kirby wants it to be a line of scrimmage game, and he wants to impose his will and the will of 92,000 or 90,000 Georgia fans there. He wants it to be the most physical game anybody's ever seen in their life. We get it. But both these secondaries have been had this year, and let's see which wide receiver core makes it one tonight.
And to back that up, Jerry, tackling in space, rallying to the football, a must for both teams, especially for Texas. Of all the issues Texas has had in the secondary the last couple of weeks, that is the one I think that has troubled me the most, is bad angles to the football, not rallying to the football, not leveraging it properly. Zachariah Branch is good enough. If you miss a tackle, you could turn a fender bender into a fatality.
Yeah.
And that, that 6-yard hook becomes, a 50-yard gain, a 70-yard touchdown. So rally to the ball. Jerry and I talked about Texas breaking tendency on the tailgate show, just in terms of, we talked a lot about with the offense, but I think defensively, I wouldn't be shocked if PK comes out with some 3 safety stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think we may see more Jonah Williams than we've seen all year tonight. I could see a big dime for sure. I think that's potential, and I think that's possible because, look, it's the biggest game of the year for the Texas linebackers, because they have more on their plate, I think, in this game than they have all year, because of the Georgia run game, and then the tight ends, the 3 tight ends that Georgia employs in this game. So I think the linebackers have a lot on their plate. The question is, could we see some big dime or bigger nickel and use a Jonah Williams? It's a tough spot to play your first real football over extended period, maybe of snaps in your college career. But it's not going to shock me. Remember, Sark always mentions, when he mentions these guys in press conferences, and you feel like, oh, he's just mentioning that in passing, then you always go back a week later and say, he gave a hint. He talked about Cade Phillips and Jonah both.
Yeah, he drops little clues. There's no doubt about that in those press conferences. And we'll see. That's great points. And we talked about a little bit on our pregame show, guys. Any chance, since the Longhorns have a clean injury sheet, not one player on it, with Zachariah Branch, the last 4 games, he's averaged 9 catches a game. They're going to get him the ball. Any chance Manny Muhammad maybe follows him a little bit? The issues that Jalen Gilbo has had in coverage and tackling at times, is there any chance you see number 5 maybe shadowing Zachariah Branch a little bit more than we're used to seeing?
Go ahead, Jeff.
I think it's tough too, because what you also got to worry about with Georgia is Noah Thomas can beat you over the top, and they've got a couple of bigger guys that they'll go down the field with. So I don't know. Honestly, I'll probably do the same thing against Zachariah Branch. Probably not as much, but similar to how you played Jeremiah Smith, where maybe you just roll coverage a little bit more to his side of the field, bracket him a little bit, maybe play some trap coverage. But that's just not, I don't know, Jerry, to me, that's just not PK style to just have one guy just float with one receiver. If they didn't do it with Jeremiah Smith, I don't think they're going to do it with Zachariah Branch.
I think a big thing in this game, like you break down all these games, here's another thing that I think is a real key tonight. Who blocks on the perimeter? Because I think this is going to be very physical. Like Zachariah Branch, what's the average yards per target? 3 yards? Well, so that means they're blocking for him. And it's a lot of motion flip out to him or screen game to him. So what secondary guys on the perimeter are going to win their one-on-ones getting off blocks? That's one of those hidden things in this game that I think is a major thing. And what wide receiver core is going to block it up the best in this game? I think that's kind of one of the hidden things that's so impactful. Everything's impactful in games like this, but then when you look back and it's easy to say, that actually wide receiver perimeter blocking, which we weren't doing a good job of early in the season, was a difference against Georgia in a win. It's going to be such a physical game at all positions tonight. I'm really looking at the physicality on the perimeter too in the screen game.
But ABC's really milking this pregame pageantry, aren't they?
They are.
How's this game supposed to kick off?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, they really are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big game, and there's not really a marquee signature game outside of this. And this game might be the highest rated regular season game of 2025 as far as television viewership, especially now that the Disney YouTube thing got settled. I'm sure this game had a factor with that at some level, and the Cowboys being on Monday Night Football on Monday factored into that too, getting that deal done from the corporate perspective. Texas has never played in Athens, Georgia. Sark has never coached a game in Athens, Georgia. They've played 7 times all time, including twice last year. It's the third meeting between the two programs in 13 months, but first time ever for the Longhorns in Athens. You guys ever been there? I've been to one game in Athens back in 1994. Saw them play Vanderbilt there. So that's my only trip, made a college trip over to see some friends, and that's my only trip into Athens. You guys been there?
I haven't been to a game there. I've been there a few times. When I was doing this nationally, I went to Georgia camp multiple times. I've been on the campus. I was on the campus last year when I was going through and seeing kids and working my way down to Brunswick, Georgia, stayed a night in Athens. Great college town, great atmosphere. It's one of the special places, I think, in college athletics, and it really is. And Kirby's taking it to that next level, obviously, with the way he's won in the 2 national championships and being a former Georgia Bulldog player. He's taking it to the next level. But it's a great spot.
Georgia won the toss and deferred, by the way, so that's why Texas is getting the ball.
Yep, that's typical of a Sark or Nick Saban or a Kirby Smart team, or most teams in the country now, to defer when you win the toss to get that extra possession coming out of half, if you can get off the field here. But Georgia has not been good, guys, on their first possession on defense. They've given up a lot of scripted first series drive touchdowns this season. So see if Longhorns come out. Of course, the Longhorns have scored on their first possession each of the last 2 games. Vanderbilt on the first play, Mississippi State on the second play in this first quarter, brought to you by Backer on the On Texas Football Watch Along. And this game is underway. Longhorns from the 25 yard.
God.
Oh,
Ryan Wingo, down he went. He had a little lane, but tripped over his own feet, and down he went.
They had it blocked up for him. Unfortunate.
Caught a turf monster that time, but that's 3 games in a row where they've gone to Ryan Wingo on the first play on a quick play like that.
DeAndre Moore in the backfield on this play.
He caught the pass. Nice throw, nice design, and the Longhorns are across up towards midfield here on this first drive. That was a nice play.
I love that play design, guys. No run. Look, who was your running back in the game? It wasn't, but DeAndre Moore was lined up as a running back and worked him out of the backfield against the Georgia linebackers. Whereas the Georgia linebackers struggled this year, they've struggled covering in the pass against running backs. I really like that. Really like that play call.
Here's Trey Wisner getting loose.
Doesn't have to be a running back. It can be the wide out lined up as a running back.
Trey Wisner for about 15 yards on the first handoff. But I agree with you. That's where you were talking about, Jeff, of start getting in his bag here.
Yeah.
This play.
That's a concept, Jerry. That play they just ran with Moore, they used to run that a lot with Jonathan Brooks. They maybe motion him over and just run him kind of on just a little, not even an out cut, just get him running along on the boundary. I like that. It's good. Clear it out a little bit.
Good pass protection, good catch by injuries, bad pass by Arch. So injuries couldn't maximize yards after catch. If that ball had been on injuries, he probably would have got 3 more yards on that play.
This is a great drive, though, so far, because now you're on the plus side of the field. So you're working on the Georgia side of the field. That's good. You've already flipped the field at the very least. So
the offense looks crisp so far. That wasn't the best pass from Arch, but the other two have been good, and now they're getting a little push on the run game. This will be the first third down just outside the 30-yard line, coming up about 3rd and 3.
Yeah, 3rd and 2.5 coming up here. Ski Breck's got Wisner for 50 yards. That would be on track for last year. I think if Texas got 25 carries for 80 yards, 24 carries for 80 yards out of their running backs tonight, I think that'd be really good for the Longhorns.
Oof.
All right, that's not going to get it, and that's
We
going
got
to be
4th and 1.
time.
Surely Sark's going to take the points right here, I would think.
48-yard field goal. I don't know which direction, if there's any wind, but 48-yard field goal. If they do that, but I think they're going to try to draw them off for sure at worst.
An offense is staying on the field here.
It's tough here because you're in no man's land, right? Like,
yeah, long field goal, punt doesn't do much if you get in the end zone, and if you don't get this, early momentum for Georgia. So we'll see. They've got 2 backs in the backfield here.
well, all right.
All right, C.J. Baxter, a little pony package is the up back. Got a good block in the interior, and the Longhorns are going to be a first set of downs inside the 30-yard line.
That's the play that we're running with Jarrett Gibson before he transferred out. Is that little fullback, little pop? There you go. So I like it. I like where that's at. We've seen that play run on 4th and short with Jarrett Gibson a few times over the last year and a half before he transferred out of the program.
And helmets got cut together like a couple of rams right there. And I like C.J. Baxter in that role. He'll fall forward for a couple of yards.
Look at that.
But see, go like that motion right there, that fly motion. That hung C.J. Allen, those linebackers. That hung them up just long enough.
Those refs are going to flag Texas for illegal helmeting, right?
Yeah, that's just funny. That face mask got up into that crease of the helmet that they have for breathing. And I've never seen that before, but, like 2 rams out in the mountains just slamming into each other.
I've never seen that either. Manilo Sports. Every time you think you've seen it all, then something happens in life, right? That's the first time I've ever seen that.
They got the equipment guys out now. Get some WD-40.
The equipment guys got TV time for the first time in their lives. Congrats to them. Find out their name. We should have them on the show. Ask them what their experience was like.
All right, here comes first down after the 4th down get, and they're going to put this in play. Texas, maybe Sark came up with something during that timeout, a little stoppage of time, or he's just going to stay on his script. It's been good so far. And there's another nice run for Trey Wisner, getting about 4 yards on first down.
This is huge to run the ball effectively on drive 1 against Georgia, because that can, if they can just continue to chip away now, that changes the game. Because Texas couldn't do anything last year running the football.
It's different style, Jerry. But run game wise, I've said this needs to be like Michigan last year, where you didn't overwhelm them with the run, but you ran it well enough that you never felt the need to go away from it.
I like that they're establishing it right now, earlier than we've seen them in the past. I mean, this is 5 carries for 30 yards for Trey Wisner.
This is I didn't see this coming. Texas being able to run the ball in any kind of sustained way like they are right now.
Yeah, the offensive line is firing off, and Trey Wisner's running tough. They converted a 4th down.
No, that's not what you want right there. Not ideal.
Left guard. Was that Hudson?
Yeah. But you notice they're not just lining up student body left, student body right. I mean, they're using motions and kind of use their formation. So I love the way Sark is calling the run game right now.
You have to make things go across these linebackers' vision pre-snap. You have to get them a little uncomfortable with their eyes. Oh, they're too good athletes if you don't get them uncomfortable with their eyes.
All right, going empty here with Arch on 1st and 15. Quarterback run could be in play.
Good job escaping the first blitzer, keeping the play alive, whipping the ball out to the right. Arch looks very comfortable early in this game.
Yeah, I like that. They did a lot against Oklahoma's front, where when things would start to break down, coverage was good. Just use your security guard out there and whip it to them and get positive play. Got the penalty yardage back essentially.
Late great Mike Leach always said, "You never go broke taking a profit."
That's true, and that's exactly what Arch did against OU and Vanderbilt. And we'll see. This is a great drive for the Longhorns so far on their first drive of the game, on our On Texas Football Watch Along. Yeah, that play was dead from the beginning. Little blitzing linebacker came that time and didn't get blocked, and then wise of Arch just to pull it down and keep it to 3rd and 8. Might have been a blown play a little bit, blown assignment.
Don't know about you guys. I'll be glad when Dalen Everett's gone from Georgia. About tired of seeing him.
Yeah, corner run blitz that time.
I'm tired of seeing that guy.
At least the Longhorns didn't have to play Georgia when they had Jalen Carter and that group back in the day. Those guys were ridiculous, but these guys are plenty good.
Speaking of blitzes,
now.
Jerry, we can talk about it as we go on, but man, I thought Brent Venables dialing up blitzes today against Bama was as good as you'll see it, man.
Wingo, dude! Wow.
Yeah, that was a first down. He was catching it in full speed, and he was going to get to the 6 at least. And yeah, that's he's playing with that dislocated thumb. He's trying to come back from, but he's had those drops most of the year.
Yeah,
in key spots.
Yeah, I mean, he was dropping them before the dislocated thumb.
All right, so here comes take 3 and take a profit, as Jeff just said. Mason Shipley, 30 of 33 this year.
I'm going to play behind y'all, and that was
brutal, Jeff. Brutal drop.
Good, great call by Sark. Arch puts it where it needs to be.
Yep.
Man,
brutal drop.
Yeah, that's we've seen that, but at least a good drive, first drive. Longhorns move it 11 plays, 59 yards.
God! Oh!
Now you saw the replay.
the overhead shot was worse.
Yeah.
Dude, like you can't drop a mesh concept on 3rd down better than that. Oh man.
Yeah, so rough first drive for Wingo. He probably had a first down plus on that first little whip pass out to the right and tripped. Then the 3rd and 8 would have been a first down drop on the cross.
Here's a silver lining on that though. Yes, you probably should still have the ball, but you overcame 1st and 15, got yourself back to a manageable 3rd down. To do that in this game, that you didn't do that last year against Georgia, and we've seen it a couple times already. Arch's athleticism, his pocket presence, that upgrade over Quinn Ewers is something Georgia didn't have to deal with playing Texas twice last year.
That Arch was sharp. The offensive line played well outside of the one offsides, and then the Ryan Wingo drop kind of stalled things out. The penalty didn't help either. But let me tell you about our friends at Backer. Introducing Backer. Backer is great merchandise, Longhorn gear, officially licensed Texas Longhorn gear just in time for the holidays, apparel, clothing, and gear. Some of the guys who started Yeti coolers back in the day are starting Backer, and they're founded by a group of guys who love college football, enjoy talking trash about each other's schools, and share a disdain for flimsy fan merchandise. They've worked in the outdoor industry for years at some of the most beloved brands out there, creating legit gear built to last. As football fans understand, it's officially licensed apparel, but a lot of times it's not held to the same standards. So you want to wear something when it's cold out or it's windy, it's raining, but it doesn't. It's your good gear that you wear to the hunting lease or whatnot, but it doesn't have say Longhorns on it. That's where Backer comes in. Whether it's sideways rain at the Cotton Bowl or blistering hot in September for openers or frigid games in Waco, your closet will be stuffed with the top-notch gear. Backer said we can make it better, and all you have to do is go to their website at backer.com, and they're going to be giving away. Go check that out. Matthew, can you throw up that website little thing if we can find it? If you go to the website and check it out with Backer, they're going to give you they'll be giving this away tonight or today, a $350 gift card plus 3 hats. And so there it is. It's the On Texas Football Backer giveaway. So you're going to go to backer.com, BCKR, and then On Texas Football, and you'll be able to enter to win Backer gear today. We're going to give away. You just get signed up between now and the end of the ball game. You see your last name, and then your first name and your email, and you'll be entered. 3 hats will be given away. They're also going to give away a $350 gift card at Backer. It's BCKR, Backer. the officially licensed merchandise. Now a great partner with us here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. Enter to win with the backer giveaway on Texas Football plus backer. We appreciate them being a part of this thing. You want to go check that gear out. Great pullovers. They have it in white and orange now. They've got the heavier jackets, the hats, everything you're going to love there at Backer and Backer.com. All right, 3-0 Texas into now the Longhorn defense hits the field after the offense did their job and took that opening kick 64 yards and Mason Shipley field goal. But yeah, the Ryan Wingo drop was critical in that drive, and we'll keep an eye on that. But still positive. And as you said, Jeff, last year in the regular season game, they got overwhelmed by Georgia's defense. So far, offense looks like it's come to play.
Jeez, oh man, it's like salt in the open wound. That keeps showing angles of that third down drop mesh. Yeah. I don't have too much more to add at this point. I really want to see this Texas defense and how what PK does to break tendency or show us something different.
Linebackers have to have a huge game against Georgia. Texas linebackers have to be on it tonight. Good pass rush right out of the gate. Love it.
Collins. Yeah, second game in a row with a sack on the opening play. Remember last week against Vanderbilt, or 2 weeks ago, it was a strip sack fumble recovery. This time chases down Gunnar Stockton from behind after they did a good job covering down the field.
Jerry just mentioned it. We talked about it at the tailgate. I mentioned it all week. The 2 games last year, Michael Williams, Jalen Walker, Trevor Etienne, Dalen Everett, like Georgia's best players played their best games in the 2 Texas games last year.
What did we see on the first play of the game? I mentioned this Friday. Will Colin Simmons line up against Ernest Green some? Oh, Colin Simmons they just got him on a little fake there. But will Colin Simmons line up against Ernest Green and flip sides in this game a little bit more? He did on that first play of the game, and he actually ended up being blocked by Oscar Delp or not blocked. So I think Colin Simmons can have a lot of success off the right side tonight. But Georgia flipped their line on that play.
What's interesting about Stockton too, he's got about twice as many yards on design runs as he does on scrambles. So he does a little bit different than Arch does as far as his rush yards.
Yeah, he's a gym rat type of quarterback. He studies a lot of film. He's always going to be on point, and his teammates love him. A couple of really tough quarterbacks that we got here tonight. All right, so good. There's Michael Taft making his first tackle back. He and Jalen Gilbo corral, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Good job. The big key for the corners tonight on that play are to leverage everything back to the inside. If Branch gives you one of these little head and shoulders and he gets outside you, that's an issue. So corners have to play perfect technique on that play tonight. They have to turn that thing back into the defense where they have help.
Great job by Gilbo and Taft.
Yep.
That run by Stockton, I can't blame Jelani McDonald too much for that because that's just something he doesn't usually do. If he just plays that, just plays normal technique and doesn't jump inside, that's definitely not a 20-yard run.
Really good throw by Gunnar Stockton there. Really good.
Both teams moving the ball in their opening scripts here tonight. See if the Longhorns can bow up and force a field goal as well.
Rick Amberge, rushing 3, not a wise decision. 100% agree in this game. 100%. There you go. There you go. Do not give the sideline up. Good job. Make him dart twice, and your safety has time to come help. Don't let him outside to the boundary.
All right, 2nd and 10 now after no gain, and now this is where you got a chance here if you can win this down, and much like they did against Vanderbilt most of the game, get this thing to 3rd and obvious is where you want to be. This is a big down.
Great job by Manny Muhammad.
Great pressure that time, right up the interior. I think that was maybe Hero Canoe that got in there.
Yep, it was Hero Canoe.
Right in Gunner's face.
Jerry, straight up nickel personnel. You like that or no?
Yes, I do. I like it early in the game. If Georgia can establish the run the way they want to, and the linebackers are doing their job, I don't think it'll force Texas's hand.
Third and 10. This is where you got to see you cannot let them off the hook on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they brought pressure too, and just a good throw out to Bell. They did bring extras and picked it up, and they convert the big 3rd down. So they are moving the ball too now down to the Texas 18.
Can't let them off the hook like that on 3rd down.
See that it's like Freeling's got a really good athlete at left tackle for Georgia. I would, if it was any 3rd and longs, I'm flipping Colin Simmons. I want him working against Ernest Green. Any 3rd and long.
Screen pass set up, and the Longhorns gobbled it up. It's going to be 2nd and 9. So see if the Longhorns can get it to another 3rd down. But the defense is swarming. But Gunnar Stockton makes some completions here, and kind of the same thing for Texas the other way. Longhorns had a big drop pass by Ryan Wingo on a 3rd down. We'll see if the Longhorns can force a mistake from the Bulldogs here.
Flip Colin Simmons on Ernest Green the entire game. Make Georgia use tight end chip help on that.
Man, how is that not a – man, I don't know what Colin Simmons has to do to get a holding call drawn. Yeah, that's
There's touchdown, Georgia. That's going to be – let's see. Noah Thomas, the big receiver, the Texas A&M transfer, is in the end zone on a little bootleg roll right. Gunnar Stockton with a nice throw. All he did is make nice throws on that drive, and it's going to be 7-3 Georgia.
Yeah. No more champagne. Their receivers are not good enough for us to be playing so far off. Absolutely agree. 100%. I think they're good players, but Noah Thomas isn't a speed receiver. If you can't play him a little tighter and think you can win, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, not a fan of, didn't like it.
All right, both teams score on their opening drives here. 3 for Texas, 7 for Georgia. The big drop for Ryan Wingo, or who knows, for the Longhorns. And now, kind of like you thought, both teams will get off to quick starts, and it's going to be a 4-quarter battle here, no doubt about it. In this first quarter, brought to you by Backer, the officially licensed Texas gear that is going to last you. It look great, and check it out. We mentioned for that website, if you want to try to get signed up for that $350 gift card, it's perfect for the holidays, for to buy some stuff, to Christmas shop, or get stuff for yourself. It's backerbckr.com/pages/on-Texas, /pages/on-Texas, or it might just be at the website at backer.com, bckr.com. But check it out. Go see that merchandise. You'll see Fozzie Whitaker on there, former Longhorn, who's been wearing some of that Backer gear. I promise you're going to want to buy that stuff for your friends and for yourself and for the holidays. Great looking stuff. It's Backer, BCKR, bringing you the first quarter. All right, go back into that, guys. The soft coverage. We see PK do that quite a lot between the 20s, and then kind of stiffens up as he gets closer to the end zone. That time, a little bit too loose on Noah Thomas, and Manny Muhammad's got to play a little tighter than that on that touchdown.
To Jerry hit on it a minute ago. I'm at the point where if I'm Mark Orfe and PK, if you're going to get beat, I may just roll with Cade Phillips at corner, because at least, I've got an athlete with some length that can put himself in a position to make a play on the ball. It can't be that easy for Georgia in the red zone.
Yeah. Michael Harges, they're getting targeted because they're playing them off. Yes. And look, I mean, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about it. Jalen Gilbo is not a short space, quickness, speed guy at corner. He's a better boundary corner if you're going to play him at corner, by the way. What is he best at? He's best at being best in a press coverage trying to reroute a receiver. So I don't know if he's actually his best chance to have success. He's even being used in that regard this year.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I think we'll start to see some more Cade Phillips in this game. I just don't look. He's a boundary corner playing field. And he's not an elite speed guy or short area quickness guy. So you're putting him in a position where he's not playing to his strength, which is being physical and rerouting somebody. That's his best chance to have success. And so you have him playing cushion. Well, that is putting him in a position, I think, to fail, honestly. Not that he's playing well necessarily, but that's not even putting him in his best position to have success. And it's been all season.
My thing, Jerry, with the secondary is from a standpoint of just, Sark's kind of mission statement, stop talking about being stickier in coverage and playing tighter man coverage and not doing it. Like, you talked about it for 5 years now, and we still haven't seen it. So either do it or just stop trying to force it that's what you want to play, because that's not what you are on defense.
Gunnar Stockton was 6 for 7, 57 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, he also had 2 carries. He got sacked once, but also had an 18-yard run, so he was pretty much the drive. Arch Manning, who gets the ball for a second time, he went 4 for 5 for 31 yards. Meanwhile, Trey Wisner ran for 30 yards on that first drive for Texas, but obviously the one incompletion for Arch was a drop pass on a third down by Ryan Wingo. So that's the only real mistake so far for either side in this first quarter. And it may have cost the Longhorns a potential chance to get a touchdown. Instead, they get a field goal. Georgia gets a 17-yard strike. When does someone get PK's ear and tell him to stop the off coverage? That's from Chris. That's I know Rob Avers asked that question a lot.
He's been coaching a long time, and he's
Well, and Dwayne Akeen is back in the secondary too, and Rod. Obviously our Mark Orfe corners. There's got to be a message, but yeah, these aren't outside of Zachariah Branch. You should be able to mono these receivers and play a little tighter than that, and then make them beat you. But we'll see what they do as this game goes on. Gunnar Stockton and Arch Manning off to good starts.
I love it when 5H Longhorn comes in the chat. You make me laugh. Please keep making me laugh, because that's all you do. All right, so Texas first drive. Wingo. The talk about Wingo's been on that drive kind of took center stage, but Texas ran the ball effectively. They ran it inside. They ran it outside effectively. I love the play out of the backfield to DeAndre Moore, so kind of a running back pass play. But Texas establishing the run on that first drive, really good sign. Let's see how Georgia adjusts on the second drive.
All right, so 4:12 to go. So the Longhorns would like to answer that with a score of their own in this first quarter. Brought to you by Backer Merchandise. Backer, great officially licensed Texas gear here in this first quarter. Get signed up for that $350 gift card and 3 hats. We're going to give away 3 Backer caps, too, that they're going to give 3 winners, 3 of you viewers out there who are on the On Texas Football Watch Along, plus that $350 gift card for a grand prize. So give it a shot. You got a chance to win something with us tonight. First down's even at 4 so far. Texas did convert a 4th down. And so the Longhorns have run 3 more plays, but we'll see. Cade Phillips is the freshman, right, Jeff? Do you think it's ready, even over Manny Muhammad?
If you're good enough, you're old enough. What Coach Royal said. So I don't know. I just had Jerry kind of hit on it a little bit. I just really have a problem with, especially in the red zone, just guys getting free releases. And it's not even so much on the touchdown, because they weren't a bunch formation and they leveraged it properly. And look, Georgia's got athletes too, right? But like on that third down, you got to try to reroute, disrupt some time. You got to do something. I can't, as many free releases as you just give away. It bothers me.
Yeah, the touchdown was on a second down, but that third down conversion, 3rd and 10, that was way too loose as coverage, and the Longhorns were getting some pressure. But the coverage, as we were talking about, didn't hold up in that spot for this. This is a long commercial break. It's got to tell you, for ABC's getting their money's worth tonight.
Yeah, they're. I'm really interested to see what the numbers come back for ABC today. Will this be their highest regular season? Will this be their highest day of TV ratings ever? Because they had Notre Dame, Pitt, OU, Bama, and now Texas, Arch Manning, Georgia. I gotta think they may break a record for regular season viewership in a day of college football for ABC. There's data on the sidelines, but you would think it has to be, right, Aaron?
I would agree. I think so too, especially with the Disney deal getting rectified with Yahoo or with YouTube finally. But yeah, it's a star-studded game. There's Matthew McConaughey and Jason Aldean. There's Peyton Manning. That's Quavo was there. I saw Colt McCoy is there. So this is one of those who's who games. To your point, that everybody wants to be here. And I'm assuming without another major piece of competition as far as the game going on right now, it's kind of a standalone game on college football Saturday night. Here's an end around to Ryan Wingo. Good tackle on the outside, but more trickeration a little bit in the bag for Sark. It's going to pick up 2 yards on first down. Can we get a darn holding call? Yeah, we'll see. Longhorns so far, no penalties have been called on either side so far. But that was a good tackle in the open field for Georgia against Ryan Wingo. Arch Manning out to Cedric Baxter. Got a good block, and he's going to pick up a first down and lower his shoulder. Another opportunity for Arch there just to find an open man and get rid of the ball down on the slot, down on the side.
I think Wingo might have swung that too wide.
Good block, Jordan Washington.
Washington,
they're going to call that third. They're going to call that short, guys. This will be 3rd and 2 now. So big play here coming off the touchdown drive. You'd like to move the football a little bit. Georgia blew that up, and Jack Endries hopefully thought it might have hurt a shoulder or something there. But look out. That's the first real blitz we've seen Georgia bring, and it got right into Arch's face immediately. It was going to be a screen pass, but one of those linebackers came hard. And
that was Quintavious Johnson. C.J. Allen cleans it up.
Well, and give Georgia credit that time. Cedric Baxter, I thought he was going to get the first down, but just a clean open field tackle prevented it. And then they covered up on 3rd down, so they get off the field on 3rd down, and Texas will have to punt the football here at 4th and 4.
On that, and you can't. On that CJ Baxter catch, I think he stepped out of bounds even before he made contact with the guy.
Yeah, he got a little bit too wide, and I thought he got it by lowering his shoulder, but obviously I didn't see it from the original live version. See him get his foot out of bounds there, but yeah, he's got to stay in bounds on that. Got a good block from Jack Endries on that play. All right, so 33-yard line, 34-yard line. It's not the best Boom-Easter punt, but Longhorns will have to see what the defensive adjustments they've made can be here against Gunnar Stockton, who pretty much was that drive on the first drive with the 6 for 7. Also ran for 20 yards on the drive. So Longhorns got to figure out something with Gunnar Stockton right now. They're moving the pocket really well and making him a moving target because of this great pass rush. And it's smart of Mike Bobo and their offensive coaching staff. Gunner's not going to be in the same place most of the time. It doesn't feel like it. All right, 9-yard run on first down. See what that's not what you want to see. Right up the guts that time of the Texas defense.
By the way, I always want to thank the chat. Y'all keep me entertained. Love y'all all. Thanks for all the support on non-Texas football always. Y'all make me laugh. Very important in life.
Laugh through the tension. Another physical run by Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, this is what Kirby Smart wants this game to be. Physical hits the last series on defense, physical play hat on hat in the box, physical tackles on the perimeter. Now you come back on offense and you're going to try to power run the football. I mean, this is how Kirby Smart wants this game to go.
Chauncey Bowens is a load, man.
Freshman, huh?
Yeah, he was. I saw him in high school at Benjamin School over in Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens. Was originally committed to Florida for a long time. Flipped to Georgia. Really good back. Still never seen a back from Florida in high school that wasn't a physical player. I'll say that. So one thing about running backs from that state. Now some of them get hurt. They don't always stay healthy, but never seen one that didn't have a physical mindset at the running back position come out of that state. At least ones I've seen.
2nd and 4 here for the Longhorns as they've crossed midfield now. It's coming too easy right now for Georgia. Texas has got to bow up, play some defense right now. Already almost 100 yards of offense in the drive and a half.
So Cade Phillips is in on this drive. Didn't see that until just now.
Yeah.
On off coverage again there on 2nd and 4, and that's just an easy pitch and catch. I mean, it's
Yeah.
turn around right at the first down marker.
Yeah. I mean, that's, if you're going to play 9 yards off, just run a little hitch route, a little stop route, and just whip it out there.
I don't get it, man.
So Georgia's got, 3 tights in the game right now? I know I see Delp and Ulysses Williams.
All right, end of the first quarter, brought to you by Backer, officially licensed merchandise. It's tremendous stuff. You want to check that out, bckr.com. Check out backer.com and check out that opportunity to win that $350 gift card that they've given kind enough to give us here on our watch along. Free hats as well. So 4 chances to win just tonight at backer.com/pages/on-Texas. That's where you're going to find that. And just go to the website, backer.com, and check out all that merchandise, hats, pullovers, cool, warm jackets for when it's raining and cold in the wintertime. Everything you need at backer.com. It's well-made stuff. I promise you that. That's the design. You want to wear your good stuff, but also it's going to have burnt orange. It's officially licensed. It's going to have Vivo on it. That's how they created Backer. I would also say this for Backer. Every time you purchase a Longhorn plus Backer product on backer.com, they will commit 10% of the product sales to support University of Texas student athletes. So 10% of it kicks back to UT NIL and helping those student athletes all over the athletic department. So you want to support that as well. It's the collection to elevate the standard for Texas fan gear. Better materials, thoughtful features, built to last. Every detail is considered. You can find cheaper Longhorn gear. We don't think you'll find anything better at backer.com. And again, now put that link through to win the $350 gift card. Pick yourself something up just in time for the colder games. These next 2 home games with Arkansas and Texas A&M. Do it at backer.com/pages/on-Texas.
I mean, it seems like a 12-year cushion. But no, I mean, look, I'll say the one good thing on that last throw to Noah Thomas for the first down before the quarter. I do like the fact that Cade Phillips stuck a foot in the ground, came up and made a play and limited Yak. But I don't know, man. I just want to see more physicality at the line of scrimmage on the perimeter. Like, I don't want to belabor the point, but like, what is the point of recruiting guys you've deemed to be guys that are really good playing physical press coverage if you're not going to deploy that style on the field?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, it's kind of been it's a staple of PK. He's a bend but don't break guy, right? I mean, that's who he is, and that's who he's been for the majority of his career. I'm not going to say all his career, because there's certain times where obviously you're a little different depending on your personnel and maybe who you're coaching under. But that's a bend but don't break defense. I mean, that's the way PK plays. Now, I'll say this. I mean, there comes a point in time where we're in game 10 and Georgia knows what PK is doing. I mean, at some point you have to break your tendency. And you know what? If you get beat over the top by Noah Thomas for a 60-yard game, you get beat over the top by Noah Thomas for a 60-yard game. But at some point you have to break your tendency in a big way, because Georgia's they played you twice last year. They have 9 games to scout this year. They have a whole library on PK calls, analytics, and all of it. At some point, you have to break your tendency in this game, in games like this.
I mean, we've asked Sark about coverage, and the answer has been some form of everything, I think, except scheme. So
Nate Frazier in the game at running back here. Unbalanced line to the boundary side, good pass rush, but then there you go. Ooh, Branch. That's the difference. That's the difference in the Vanderbilt receivers versus this week. that's a 30-yard gain.
Yeah, and Michael Taft took that bad angle and got undercut it, and Zachariah Branch got the corner, and he was the last line of defense on that play. Longhorns brought pressure that time, but Gunnar Stockton, definitely stepped up into the pocket where there was a pocket and made a good throw again. He's been nearly perfect tonight. He's 9 for 10, 99 yards.
JS says
First and goal now. Now there's good coverage that time by Anthony Hill, but there's a flag down.
We're going to have flag. It's going to be holding. So it's going to set up a first and goal from the 4.
Look, all I know is if you're PK, PK's been really good about making in-game adjustments. You better get to it pretty freaking quick.
Yeah.
Because they're going through you like crap through a goose right now.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this kind of looks like Texas when they came out of their first bye week with Florida, the way they're not playing real physical football. And that caught them behind big early against the Florida Gators, and they tried to come back. But this is not the defense we saw, just to dominate Vanderbilt. But as you just said, those are Vanderbilt athletes versus Georgia athletes, Jerry.
But Jerry mentioned earlier, and he's right, like, in a game like this, Mike Bobo's still on the script, so he's calling it just like he expected it to see it, which tells me you haven't made any adjustments.
Yeah, no tendency breakers so far, as you guys have said several times. And Mike Bobo planned for this, and he's getting exactly what he planned for. No curveballs yet. It would be big to force a field goal here, but it's already second and goal from the 3 now after that penalty. 3 would be 14. It's a tough hole early.
I mean, Ernest Green had Trey Moore around the neck, but I guess
unbalanced left, fake counter, came up the middle. I like it. Good job.
Yeah, good defense at the point of attack that time. It'll be third and goal now. This is a big play. 10-7 on the scoreboard. Doesn't look nearly as bad as 14-3 in the second quarter on the road. And yeah, scrap through a goose is a good one. They've got 133 yards already. Pretty much, chunk plays all over the field right now.
Rick Ambergi, Shaw was over center. I think Shaw's a big part of the run defense in this game.
Better get it figured out.
Yeah, Noah Thomas with Cade Phillips, the freshman on him. It's, again, soft coverage and just an easy throw to the pylon.
Like, what? I don't.
Quentin said Marcus Myers is pissed. Hey, that must be on Twitter. Chris Daisa, I saw you were checking in from. Where were you checking in from? Who is 11? That's freshman Cade Phillips.
That's a good route. I mean,
that was a good route.
It's a veteran receiver going against a freshman corner. But, there's a reason why they've had why you're game 10 and it's ongoing competition at that corner spot opposite of Manning.
Yeah, and that's decent coverage. Almost got his hand in there, but Noah Thomas, the Texas A&M transfer with already 2 touchdowns. Gunnar Stockton's 10 for 11, 103 yards. And
Gunner's been very accurate in this game, like extremely accurate in this game.
How about 10 of 11 for 103 and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Arch is 6 for 7, but that drop by Ryan Wingo still looms on their script, their opening drive, and Georgia scored on back-to-back drives to start this ball game. And yeah, adjustments need to start right now for Texas because Georgia's 2 for 2 on third down. They're now 1 for 1 in the red zone. They're averaging 8.1 yards per play so far in this game. That's almost a first down per play. That's got to change. Hey, this second quarter brought to you by our friends at Driven Auto Sales, online at drivenoutosales.net. Jeremy Jones and his team want to help you find your next vehicle, and they've been doing this a long time over there at Driven Auto Sales. They are tremendous. Go to the website. It's going to be lightly used cars they're going to find. They scour the country to find the best deals They put a free lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle you buy. They've been carefully inspected and checked at their shop to make sure they are great vehicles every single time. They won't sell one if it hadn't been thoroughly checked and passed all their checkpoints. That's how they operate. And then they put a lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle at drivenoutosales.net. And so whether it's that dream car you've been looking for, maybe it's just a car for one of your kids that's coming online as a driver, I promise you won't find a better vehicle at a better price. They're based in Buda, Texas, but they deliver vehicles all over Central Texas, all around the country, and all over the great state as well. They are the best. It's just a click away. drivenoutosales.net for your dream vehicle or just need a car or truck. They carry everything from fuel-efficient compact cars to full-size options. Each one, as we say, meticulously inspected for quality and performance. They come with a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, and their motto for the entirety of their existence has been pretty simple: more than fair, more than friendly. At Driven Auto Sales, one click away. drivenoutosales.net, bringing you the second quarter of so far kind of all Georgia here, 14-3. And Georgia doesn't start playing real football till the fourth quarter. Yeah, this is an atypical fast start for Georgia, which is problematic.
Yeah, that's Ski Break. Thank you for making me laugh. Appreciate that. Darren, we're playing off coverage every year under the staff. It's awful, man. I hate it. Go about like Cade Phillips plays well. Cade Phillips is going to play more, obviously, in this game. I think we could see some Jonah Williams in this game too, or maybe that's been the plan all week. We'll see. It just depends now. This game's probably not going how Texas thought it would go either. But look, I mean, it's what PK does. I mean, he's a bend but don't break guy, and people are like, wow, what's Akina brought to the table? I mean, it's what's Orfe bringing to the table? It's not really their scheme. And so I always preface that when everybody starts the fire the coach things. It's like, all right, well, whose scheme is it? Who's making the calls? Who's making the personnel decisions? Who's the last person to say yay or nay on all this stuff? And so I know people are like, fire Akina, fire Orfe, but I think those are tough. I don't think it's just that simple. PK, he plays a bend but don't break defense. Their secondary is not as good as it was last year. They lost some. Jade Barron obviously won the Thorpe, and Andrew McCuba was a tremendous portal addition. That's a big chance for return right there. Ryan Niblett.
Look out for Ryan Niblett. There is a flag down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big because Texas needs points on this drive. They can't. They need to start matching.
Crap.
Banks does not like that call.
Warren Roberson with a holding call that time.
Oh, he's mad at Warren. Yeah.
Yeah, here's 24. Let's see the hold.
Let's see it.
Well, he kind of got tripped. He tripped over his own guy and then kind of wrestled him to the ground. All right. Well, the Longhorns need some motivation here. Now they're going to be backed up instead of being across midfield after another Ryan Niblett special teams play. They're going to start the ball at the 9-yard line here. So big difference, obviously. That's a massive penalty in this game.
Yeah, pretty simple here. You got to go get points. You got to mount a drive and get points.
And here comes another penalty call. It looks like another holding on Texas here on this outside zone run. That's not good because it's going to back it up even further. This is going to be on Cole Hudson, his second penalty of the game so far.
Sloppy.
Yeah, back-to-back holding calls on an explosive kick return and now on first down when you gain positive yards on a nice run. But, yeah, that's an obvious hold.
Yeah.
That's going to – I mean, the official's staring right at that. Now you're worried about something bad happening here at first and 15 from the 4.
Four-man blitz, dropped in the zone. Good throw.
Look out, here comes Emmett Mosley.
Great
out
job
towards midfield. Yeah, Art stepping up in the pocket that time. Little crossing route. We've seen that already. Ryan Wingo dropped one. This time Arch Manning, little flick right out to Emmett Mosley, who's really coming on here late in the season. Coming a really reliable target.
Yeah.
Hell,
Hey, look, if Georgia only blitzes 4, you have to take advantage. I know they're in a if you're not going to get many just 4-man rushes from Georgia, and they don't have Michael Williams as one of those rushers this year, or Tyron Ingram Dawkins, you have to take advantage in the 4-man rush situations.
Taking a shot here. Oh, and it was there.
Good start for Arch.
Yeah, Arch is playing at a very high level right now.
Just out, man. That's Arch is 7 for 9, and the two drops. It should be 9 for 9, and that might have set up a touchdown.
Y'all gonna spoil this incomplete for me? Is Wingo about to drop this?
It's a tough catch, but you come down with it. That's what first round. If a guy's gonna be a first round pick, that's what they do.
There's another drop.
Golly, that was a big drop, Jordan.
Yeah, that's Longhorns shooting themselves right in the foot here.
Arch did a good job seeing the blitz, seeing the missed block, the blitz, and getting the throw out on time and on target.
Yeah, he had pressure right up in the face.
Yeah, Joseph Jonah-Ajonye from Conroe Oak Ridge High. Him and Justin Williams came out of Oak Ridge High in the same class. 2 guys Texas really wanted. Obviously, those guys were going out of state. They went to Georgia, and both in a future NFL draft picks.
All right, big third down, obviously. Longhorns did get out of the shadow of their own goal line, but you'd like to get another first down here. And that's another pass that is in the hands. And that
was a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough, but gosh, you got to have those. And now the Longhorns will punt, and hopefully the defense has made some adjustments. Well, that Emmett Mosley play turns out to be a big one to flip the field a little bit, and I need a good punt from your punter. But I think all 3 of those are catchable passes, guys.
I mean, that was that's what Georgia. That's where they get on their blitz game right there on the 3rd and 10. They run the twist with the A-gap blitz with the backer. They get pressure. Arch doesn't really have time to step in the throw. Would have been a tough catch, but you'd like to see one of your wide receivers make one of those 2 plays for you as a quarterback who's having a really accurate night thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Arch is 7 for 11. All 4 passes that he's going to be incomplete for were very catchable, at least catchable or tough catches. And I'll say this: you're not beating Georgia on the road without some guys stepping up and making some tough catches and tough.
And here's the crazy thing. I don't know. Somebody just said it in the chat, and I agree. This is the best football we've seen from Arch Manning right here.
He's playing outstanding. He really is. I mean,
he's seeing the blitz. He's moving, manipulating the pocket, moving in the pocket, getting the ball out on time. He's made some really high level throws. This is the best we've seen of Arch. So Arch is really taking steps here right now.
Through 3 possessions, I've got no complaints about Arch. I've got no complaints about how Sark has called this game.
No, I mean, you got to catch the ball, though, guys. I mean, against Georgia, you got to catch tough catches, routine catches like Wingo and Jordan Matthews had. And, Stockton's 10 for 11, but Arch very well could be 10 for 11 as well through this first quarter and a half.
Yeah,
I do like them taking a shot on the Wingo play. I mean, you got to do that, stretch this field, and this ball is going to be at the 13-yard line. So at least you flip the field. That's what that Emmett Mosley play did to get it to where now you're not giving a short field to Georgia, who's already on a roll offensively. And now you got to bring something. You guys have talked about tendency breakers and changing it up. They've got to come up with something here.
Yeah, 100%. And look, it's probably time to stop getting cute and dropping Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill in the pass coverage as much. Make your adjustment. If Anthony Hill has to play more of an edge at times, that's fine. He's a physical football player, but it's time. And I know Georgia's going to steamroll, run the football, but we got to get Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill playing downhill. The more I see them dropping coverage, the more I shake my head. Texas defense is at their best when Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill are trying to meet at the quarterback. That's when we put the most pressure on an offense.
I think I'm just gonna get that Will Muschamp quote, like put on a sign and just hang it above my shoulder for these watch lists.
Yeah.
Imagine that Anthony Hill's a much better football player, Jerry, when he's going toward the line of scrimmage.
Always has been.
Hard to believe.
Always has been, and I know he wants to develop. I get it. D-Buddy can't get money. Georgia's locked in and vastly more disciplined than us. This game can get out of hand quickly if Texas didn't get their head out of their butt. Look, the reality here is if Texas needs to force a 3-and-out or Georgia gets one first down and force a punt, it's punt time now. If Georgia goes down and drives the field and gets a touchdown here, then your back is really against the wall on the road. Like I'm saying anything that anybody wouldn't say, but this is a must-stop possession for the Texas defense. I mean, not even a field goal. They need to force a punt right here.
It's kind of remarkable you even were in a position to advance it into Georgia territory that you were able to flip the field, just because that Warren Roberson holding penalty negates the kickoff return. Then you get backed up on the hold. Like you're just shooting yourself in the foot time and time freaking again, man. And we shouldn't be shocked because that's what this team has done all year. Like it's not like they were just going to come out and have like a no penalty game. It's just not what they've done.
Thank you for that super chat. Talking about the Roberson on special teams. It's been 2 years now. He has had a lot of penalties out there. And that was a tough one. That was a tough one for sure. But yeah, that's not a good way to start this. 8-yard gain on first down. Texas. This is it's reminding me more and more, guys, of coming off the bye week in Florida. They're just not winning the point of attack. They're not playing physical football. They're undisciplined and dropping passes. Arch is the only thing they've got going for them right now.
Yeah.
And that was the first half of the Florida game where they just got out physical. Oof. Good tackle that time on the outside by Jalen Gilbo. It's going to be 3rd and short. It says Ryan needs to sue whoever did his LASIK surgery. Ryan Wingo's hands have not been reliable this year.
I guess it proves that LASIK doesn't solve everything, because he had a few issues last year as well.
I have had the LASIK too, but I'm wearing these glasses because they're blue screen glasses because I look at screens all day. So helps, they say, to keep my eyes strong. So I still see fine, but that's what I'm wearing. I recommend the LASIK if you can get it.
All right, so first down run there. Georgia up to 43 yards rushing. They go with 104 passing. Georgia running backs have 7 carries, 25 yards. That is a workable number right now, but it can't start to get out of hand.
Yeah, last 2 drives, they've really gashed in the middle, and here comes a little counter. There's a nice play by Grayson Littleton coming up and making
really
a play.
Good play.
This Arch should transfer to make sure he has adequate help around him. So far, the Vanderbilt game was the one game, and really the second half of Oklahoma, where everybody was working in sync in concert and making plays and catching the ball, blocking. Right now, this first half has been penalty filled and drop passes and sloppy in some cases, and the defense getting pushed around a little bit. All right, here we go. This is now 2nd and 11. Chance to get it to a 3rd and long here in Georgia territory, and a chance to maybe force a punt here.
3rd and 11, you got to get off the field. Like you cannot let them off the hook on 3rd and 11.
All right, nice job. Underthrown pass. They could have maybe come with a flag, but they did not. So now it is 3rd and 11, and this could be a chance to make a play here for the defense to kind of turn the momentum of this game. We'll see.
Gilbo was in press coverage on that play. Underthrown. Good job by McDonald not to make contact on that. But that Gilbo was in press on that 2nd and 11.
On that TFL by Littleton, and again on the pass rush too, I don't think we've given talked enough about how good Brad Spence has been this year.
No, Brad Spence he plays well above his weight class.
Dude,
at the edge position.
100%.
All right, so this is a quick screen that time. They're going to have to punt because Xavier Filson came up and made a nice tackle after about a 7-yard gain. So it's going to be 4th and 4. Getting it to 3rd and 11 obviously gave you a chance to get off the field. And they go quick screen.
Do not try to go after this punt. Just get the football back right now.
Yeah, you can't.
Not try to go after this punt and do something dumb and get a flag.
I know Jeff Banks would want to, and I'm expecting him to at some point. Just not now's not the time.
No. Rick Ambergy says, watch for the fake. If this was Bob Stoops, maybe. He pulled some rabbits out.
It says, so are they supposed to catch the ball? Asking for a friend. Also, PK needs to get out of his bend, but don't break crap. You are broke. Yeah, Bobby's mayo spreader. Thank you very much. Yeah, they are supposed to catch the ball, and so far they have not been sharp with that. And poor Arch has made some good throws. And the Wingo catches and misses drop. The tight end drop too. I mean, the DeAndre Moore play was a tough one on third down, and probably could have dove for it. Could have dove for it, but then if he dies, he's probably not getting the first down because he was ahead of the sticks. But either way, I see where he's trying to just reach out and get it. Longhorns force a punt, though. This is the first punt for Georgia. And Longhorns at 8:17, halfway through. They need points now. They have to go try to finish a drive here, make this a one-score game before the half. Longhorns will have the ball coming out of the second half because actually Georgia, Texas. I'm trying to remember who took the opening kickoff.
Texas had the ball first.
Yeah, Georgia won the toss.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. They have a lead and they'll get the ball at a half. So you got to manage this last 8 minutes very well if you're Sark.
A lot of pre-snap motion on the punt team here for Georgia. Punts away. And he can outkick his coverage. He did not on this one.
Yeah, he might be the best punter in the country, and that's a bit of a break to have it only to the 30-yard line. That guy tormented the Longhorns last year in 2 matchups. All right, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, and when we come back in the second quarter, brought to you by Driven Auto Sales. Please find them online. My friend Jeremy Jones and his hardworking team, more than friendly and more than fair. Every single time your next vehicle should start at drivenoautosales.net. Let's check it out one time and look at the selection of trucks and cars, economical cars. I mean, and then the service. I also say with the price you see on that website, drivenoautosales.net, that's going to be the price you pay on the car. They're not going to add a bunch of add-ons. They're going to that'll be your price that you see. A little plus tax, and license, of course, but that'll be the price you pay. Sticker price, no doubt. DrivenAutoSales.net. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime free powertrain warranty. They've been meticulously inspected before ever hitting that website. So check them out, DrivenAutoSales.net.
Can I just say, I think for the OTF team, producer Matt he's our Brad Spence. Doesn't get enough credit for the
I agree.
great job he's doing.
Plays above his weight class too. If you've never seen Matt. Cooper James Super Chat. Imagine this version of Arch with 23 receivers. I would definitely trade Wingo for a guy off that 23 team for sure. I think DeAndre Moore's a really solid player. I think Emmett Mosley's a really good football player who just missed 4 games to start the season due to injury. But I would definitely trade out Wingo for one of those guys. Wingo's just not consistent enough for me. And it's not a 1-game thing. It's a season and a half thing at this point.
Yeah, we remember in his sophomore year, Xavier Worthy's struggles catching the ball. Turned out he had a broken hand, but you need that guy that's your go-to guy, that's your big play guy to be reliable. And last year was Matthew Golden, and he caught everything anywhere near him. And maybe that becomes Emmett Mosley here as this game goes on, because Ryan Wingo's already dropped a couple. Certainly one that was catchable on a big third down. The one down the left side just a minute ago could have set up a touchdown potentially, and they need those to be made. No doubt about it. Hey, let me also mention that on Texas football and our watch along brought to you by the great folks at Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's favorite vodka for a reason. It's got the great vodka, known for great vodka and giving back and doing good for dogs. It's distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly while you're enjoying the Tito's on this Saturday night. Longhorns need a Tito's and a touchdown here is what they need. They need to get back in this game. Anybody ask Bobby if he'll still take Wingo over Jeremiah Smith?
You'll have to ask Bobby that one. I don't remember Bobby saying that. I could be mistaken, though. We have a lot of shows. We talk a lot. So there's the twist on the last third down. And the run the linebackers on the A-gap blitzes. And C.J. Allen hurt on that play. Hamstring, that's a big injury.
That's huge. That's huge. Well, Longhorns have to take advantage of that here. They're going to the ball at the 30-yard line. They're 70 yards from trying to make this a one-score game.
Oh, my gosh. Bobby's Mayo spreader with one of the best super chats of all time. Sorry, Rod, you'll be here in the third quarter. I'd take Rod Babers at wide receiver over Wingo. That's pretty funny.
Here comes Ryan Wingo, guys. Look out. Yeah, get Ryan Wingo some confidence. That's a play that got out to the 45-yard line, and he got tripped. Remember, Ryan Wingo also kind of tripped over his own feet on that play on the first play of the game, so they need to get him going. Yeah, that is a good call into the zone.
Parker Livingston's on the field.
Yeah, Parker Livingston's on the field for somebody that
Wow.
wears Livingston.
Well,
But
Parker
We're
Livingston,
going to have a hold on the perimeter on this.
yeah, these
It
can
was
be
the
drive
outside.
killers. Yeah, these can be drive killers because that was a nice game. Parker Livingston picked his way through, but this is going to make it 1st and 20 after you gotten out towards midfield. Nice play call, but can't be holding on the outside. Perimeter blocking was a point of emphasis we talked about.
Let's see if we need a replay on this one.
I think that DeAndre Moore, yeah.
How many penalties is that now for Texas versus Georgia?
Too freaking many.
That is 6 for 38 to 0.
Yeah, that every play matters. Drop passes, penalties, not close, and that's the score is 11 right now.
I'm about to go get in my ref jersey with my Georgia hat like I had for Halloween. It's about time.
All right, Emmett Mosley's going to get the penalty yards back, so it'll be 2nd and about 5. This is makeable, manageable out to midfield.
Really good. Another good throw by Arch. Arch is really dealing tonight, guys.
Yeah, see, DeAndre just waited a hair too long to let go.
Yeah.
On that hold.
Mr. Young says Mosley seems like a solid option. He absolutely is. Big Emmett Mosley fan. I think he's got a very bright future in extended career football.
There's a good throw and catch that time. That's Mosley again with a good hands catch and a first down. And yeah, I mean, remember last year, guys, we saw Matthew Golden become more and more the go-to guy, and maybe that becomes Emmett Mosley here with the struggles of Ryan Wingo. They're not going to stop throwing to Wingo, but maybe the Mr. Reliable becomes 3.
See, CJ Allen's out of the game. You really got to go put this one in the end zone right here.
I love the run. That was a 4-man front. They didn't bring the extra blitzer. They were that was against the 4-man front. No, I love that. Love that. They did not bring the 5th defender, whether it would have been a run blitz or a blitz. I love the run call on that. Easy 6. Good 6. Not easy 6. Good 6.
Yeah, no. And you don't need a field goal here, guys. You're inside the 30-yard line. You need a touchdown on this drive.
Yes, 100%.
Good time for Arch that time. Good coverage.
Yeah. Good play in the pocket, though. Arch is making all the right moves in the pocket. He's climbing the pocket when he needs to. He's avoiding the subtle move to avoid pressure, keeping his eyes out. He is doing all the right things at the quarterback position with 6:09 to go in the half tonight. This is by far the best I've seen Arch Manning in a Texas uniform.
Yeah, he's been really, really sharp. His Uncle Peyton's on the sideline.
And I jinxed him.
No, he just missed his. I think the receiver went down, or that was his fat throw by Arch.
He missed him.
That's the first interception and turnover for Arch in about 3 games now.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, Jerry.
No problem.
Well, up to that point, outside of the drop passes, he'd been almost flawless in this game, and that was just a missed throw.
Yeah, I jinxed him. It's my fault. Arch threw a bad ball. It's the way sports works. It's totally my fault. Arch heard that and said, "Jerry jinxed me. I'm going to throw it high and away for a pick." That's the way sports works.
Well, by the way, there's still no penalties on Georgia. That could have been a pass interference because he jerked DeAndre Moore sideways and he couldn't finish his route.
Yeah. Oof. Oh, that's a great hit.
Yeah,
Man, who was that came up?
I think it was Littleton. Oh, yeah, Ty Anthony, 26, not 29. Sorry.
Solid strike. If you don't make that tackle, it's a 15-yard gainer. Great strike. Boom.
In games like this, that Arch pick just shows you how small your margin for error is. Like, it's the one real mistake he's made all night. And it was a turnover.
Yep. Well, now you need to stop.
That was violent, man.
Yeah, that was violent.
All right, this will be 3rd and 4 here. Chance to get the ball back for Texas and get it back to the offense. Arches, despite that pass, I do think there was some contact there that made it tough on DeAndre Moore, but he is in a good place right now. I feel like their offense feels good, but they just got to finish the drive here. They have 161 total yards so far, and more actually than Georgia, but only 3 points. It's talk about those 6 penalties, the 1 turnover now, drop passes. Longhorns have been the much sloppier team in this first half. There's no doubt.
You just stop shooting yourself in the foot for 5 minutes. You'd be all right.
Yeah, 100%. Reminding you of the Ohio State game a little bit. Just way too many.
Brought Taff on the safety blitz. Really aggressive play call. Love that one. PK gets takes some heat, but that was a really good play call. Blitz Michael Taff from the safety spot. Gunnar Stockton felt it right away.
And then Colin Simmons was getting pressure, and it forced Stockton tripped over his own offensive lineman and was getting shoved backwards as he tried to evade the pocket. So good job by Texas. They're going to get the ball back with 4:37 to go in the second quarter, and the always dangerous Ryan Niblett has taken the field.
And by the way, for the chat, Arch is playing horrible tonight. If he has an incompletion the rest of that game, Texas needs to tell him to go in the portal.
Man, Brett Thorson not having a great night. I don't mind it, but didn't expect it.
Maybe it's the black tights that he's wearing, or those yoga pants that he's sporting today. There it is. Now they're going to highlight the miscues. And again, this is reminding me, guys, of the Ohio State game. Texas is playing okay, in some phases, but just way too many costly mistakes and drops. And they're running through all of them right now. Yeah, by my count, it's 6 penalties to 0. It's 1 turnover to 0. It's 4 drop passes to 0, and that's why the Longhorns are down 11 right now. In the second quarter, brought to you by Driven Auto Sales.
Is Georgia going to have a penalty call on them tonight? If they're up 17 in the fourth quarter, maybe they'll get that hold.
C.J. Baxter in the game.
Dude, the Wingo drop mesh route in the red zone it just gnaws at my soul, man.
Yeah, who knows where that drive goes if he catches that and gets upfield. Nice first down play. C.J. Baxter is going to get 5 yards, so now second and manageable is where you want to be.
Again, really good job just moving in the pocket by Arch. That's instinct. He's playing so instinctive in the pocket. Oof. Wow. That was
not
oof.
A little bit slow developing for this Georgia defense.
Raylan Wilson brought the pain on that contact. That is play over contact.
And that could have been a holding call on Andrews, who just got a hog tie a little bit, but big third down here, guys. 3rd and 7. Is it 2 down territory for Texas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Potentially. Potentially, right? Not
depends on what happens on this play.
Yeah.
Positive yards here, maybe. No.
No, I think you got to punt.
I would agree. Still 3:17 and 3 timeouts. You can pin them back and try to get the ball back one more time before half. It wasn't a bad read. There was space behind him. There was nobody there. And once again, disjointed passing game tonight, whether it's drop passes or that last 2 arch throws.
And by the way, people are saying, why have we been in the run, not playing complimentary football? It's a good point. Texas ran the football effectively tonight. Trey Weisner has 6 carries for 36 yards.
Much better than I thought they would.
7 for 39 out of the running back position, averaging over 5 yards a pop. That's not – I don't disagree with you guys.
I mean, the offensive line – dude.
7 penalties on Texas now, and that they haven't backed up to the 5-yard line, guys. They got to punt it again, and Jay Boomeister dropped it inside the 10-yard line. What did they call? I mean, was it they call the center or the snapper for kind of popping up and down? Refs need to be investigated. It says.
I think he was looking. I think it was the up backs. He was looking directly at the up backs when he threw the flag.
All right, so that's going to be a difference of about 10 yards, guys, as far as penalty yardage. They had it at the 5. Now they're going to have it at the 15.
Tony Garcia. I'm sorry, Lauren Jackson. It's Sark. If it works, let's change it. That's pretty funny. She's talking about the run game, obviously.
Especially with the CJ Morgan, the linebacker, out. You got to go with that. Wingo has been a liability in this game.
Yes.
Thank you, Charlie B. Gosh, has there ever been a defending national champion had an easier schedule than Ohio State has had this year outside of the Texas game, which turned out to be not the toughest game? This is amazing. They don't play anybody.
No. It's going to be interesting to them in Indiana in the playoffs. How does that affect them, or is Ohio State just the best team again? It's not going to matter.
They might be. I mean, they might be.
Oh boy!
There's a good pass out to the 40-yard line. That's the first pass to a tight end that's been completed, and Gunnar Stockton is 13 of 16.
You cannot give them the 2-for-1 right here, man.
They're going to attack Anthony Hill with tight end and coverage.
Well, it's
been tried before.
I mean, we can talk about the coverage issues, and they're certainly there. But man, Gunnar Stockton has had a hell of a half.
Yeah, he's been dang near perfect. Hasn't really made a bad decision or a bad throw.
Yeah, D-Money, I agree. If you're going to run the ball, just run the ball. Like your odds are not very high. You're going to have success trying to swing it wide against Georgia.
Yeah, and I wasn't knocking Ohio State there, guys, but, Jeff, I was thinking of you the other day. I was listening to, I think it was Dane Brugler on one of the radio shows talking about how his number one prospect is now Arvell Reese from Ohio State, the linebacker. And we, going into that game, and he played a great game against Texas. they arguably the 2 best players in college football, in Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Now they got this other guy. I mean, they've got so much talent, obviously. But so I'm just saying their schedule week to week. We just haven't seen Ohio State have to play a really tough game since the Texas game.
Right, no doubt, and that's why you wonder, can that affect them negatively in the college football playoff down the line? And I'm not saying they're going to blow Indiana out. They'll have that game in the Big Ten championship, which is probably really good for Indiana and Ohio State heading in the playoff. But definitely for Ohio State, I mean that the way these coaches look at this stuff. If anybody that knows coaches, right? You talk to them, they're like, man, the last thing we want going into a NCAA tournament or a playoff or high school, whatever it is to not feel like we've been tested and put in real adverse situations for a long period of time. And that's kind of like your point. That's where Ohio State is right now.
Well, they're so efficient and so good on defense. They just don't play close games. But think about what Indiana just had to go through with Penn State. Think about A&M with the Notre Dame game, and now today. I mean, they've found ways, and that's something that can show up later. They've got some flaws, obviously, but they find ways to win. This says, guys, God's gifts. Thank you very much. This team is so undisciplined. It's ridiculous. This team is so undisciplined. It's ridiculous.
It's been that way all year.
By the way, Florida leads Ole Miss at the half, 24-20. If you're not paying attention to that game, that's the Lane Kiffin Bowl. You guys think Lane Kiffin's going to Florida or not?
I think Florida has confidence in they're going to get Lane Kiffin, but there's some people behind the scenes that think LSU's got a legitimate chance. I don't know. Florida's pretty confident. We'll see. Here's the question, though. If you're Lane Kiffin, do you jump to the NFL instead of another college job right now? Because everybody's talking just about college, but he's putting himself. Yeah, he's putting himself on the radar. Jackson Dart with the Giants. I mean, I think he could have more than a college option.
Well, Jerry, I think if he doesn't take that job, I don't know what NFL job he would take.
Yeah. All right, so where we're at right now in this game, Georgia, we're at the 2-minute warning. Ball on the Georgia 42, 183 yards of offense for Georgia, 134 through the air, 49 on the ground. Texas, 164 yards, 125 through the air, 39 rushing because Texas has stopped trying to run the ball. Also, they'd have more than that in this game. Texas has 2 timeouts. Georgia has 3.
The must stop here inside 2 minutes. Texas
Yes.
cannot. I mean, if they don't score, it's not great. But if they give up more points here, that would be, especially with Georgia having the ball coming out of the half, and that's what Kirby Smart is thinking about.
What you wanted to, not the way you wanted to start right there.
Well, that looked like a holding call that didn't get called. I mean, it's there was a defender. I didn't see the number, but got reached out and held.
Dylan Bell gets up a little gingerly in this game. Georgia's taken it on the chin with a couple injuries in this game so far. I'm sure Dylan Bell will be all right. He's had the league to play. But the C.J. Allen injury is big, unless you don't let it be big.
Had a bye week. This is what you look like. Not surprising. Sark has to do better. It doesn't help the Texas get called for literally everything. Yeah, Georgia had a penalty call. They could have had a holding call on that last handoff. There's Colin Simmons making a play.
Simmons.
Even if you don't get a possession here, you just cannot let them get points.
No, you can't. That's got to be us. And they do have an elite field goal kicker. For folks who are just tuning in here on the Texas Watch Along, brought to you by Driven Auto Sales.
The Hound 7, 5 years, $100 million to save, and I think LSU tried that and he didn't go for it.
I think Saban is enjoying doing television.
Man.
Why would you want to come back into college sports right now?
Yeah, he's doing a good job on the TV too. He's good at it.
You can make millions on TV, work about 20 weeks a year, play golf in Jupiter, Florida about 20 weeks a year, hang out in Tuscaloosa 12 weeks a year outside of football season. Seems like a better gig to me.
Third down is a high leverage situation here, fellas.
Yeah, very big. Very, very big. Might want to see a Michael Tapp safety blitz again, something to
they need to bring it.
Dude, why?
Manny Mahabin and Roberson are your corners.
I just saw the Noah Thomas catch. Like, no, just
they ran that. Oh, good job.
There it is. Great stop that time. Great penetration. Gunnar Stockton made a couple guys miss, but too much Texas speed. And now Longhorns are going to use a timeout on 4th and 5. We'll see what Georgia does here. They're likely to punt. Kirby Smart. Make them go the length.
Likely and smart to punt. They get the ball coming out of the halftime. I don't think you really mess around with this, but I'm 0-0.
A good play by Ethan Burke that time. He missed the original tackle, but really slowed Gunnar Stockton down enough to make sure the cavalry can come home.
Nah, Jerry, if I'm Kirby, the way my defense has been playing, shoot, I just punt the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
I have to.
Hey, Cole Brevard, good play on that as well.
Because at this point, if you're Kirby thinking this through, you're going to get a stop, or Texas is just likely to trip over themselves at some point. Like, that's just the way the first half has been.
Yeah, see if they try to draw Texas off here. Nope, they're going to just straight punt it. Yeah, so you're going to have 2 timeouts left with 30-ish, 28 seconds left.
Georgia got all 3 timeouts.
Another punt.
Another not great punt by the All-American punter. So Longhorns will have the ball at the 16-yard line. That could have been the 6. And now they got a chance. Like to see them pop one explosive here with 34 seconds. I'll remind you that our second quarter is brought to you by the Driven Auto Sales. Make sure you write that website down, drivenoutosales.net. Get to know them. Jeremy Jones and his team. They're based here in South Austin. They're in Buda, Texas. Been there a decade plus, but they will deliver that car, that new vehicle, anywhere in Austin, anywhere in Texas, anywhere in the country. drivenoutosales.net. And Jeremy watches every game, and a huge Longhorn fan. Lived in Austin his whole life. And great guy, Jeremy Jones, at Driven Auto Sales. Okay,
Ryan Matthews, I agree with this. Georgia's not playing good defense. Georgia defense can be had. For sure.
Hey, it's got to catch the ball.
That's not what I had in mind to start the drive. But
I wonder if Georgia uses the timeout here. Or they just let it go to half.
Let it go.
Got to hold on to the ball here.
Yeah, let it go to half. Get the ball coming out at halftime. Yeah, Arch actually was smart on that play. If he'd have tried to throw it across his body to the middle of the field, that would have been disaster. See, that's a quarterback that's learning. That could have been that would have been a disastrous decision.
I'd like to see him thrown out of bounds and save the yardage, but now you're probably just taking a knee here to get to the half with 20 seconds to go. Hey, I haven't talked to you guys about that Aggie game. Have you ever seen a quarterback play so poorly in one half and so good in another half than Marcel Reed did?
Christian Miller down, by the way, on this play. Looks like he'll be fine, but still limping off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look, that was I don't know about Aaron. I was thinking about that during the game. I mean, that was a tale of two halves. Like, you kind of wondered, okay, is Marcel Reed done mentally for that game?
Why the hell?
The way he came back and played in the second half. Oh man, yeah, it was really that was really impressive by Marcel Reed. They just got what A&M's just got belief. They got a little mojo. They got that confidence about them. I told Jeff on our pregame show, for the last 27 years, A&M would have lost that game. They have a little confidence. They have a little confidence. They have a little mojo. They're feeling themselves a little bit. For the last 27 years, they'd have lost that game today. I don't think there's any doubt.
All right, that's going to be halftime as the Longhorns let the clock run once it got set, and it's 14-3 Georgia. Georgia scored on their first two drives of the ball game, and Longhorns only got a field goal. This game so far has been about mistakes. One team's made them, and one team has not. Georgia has not made any. They don't have a turnover. They don't have any penalties. Texas has 6 penalties, turnover, and a bunch of drop passes in this game.
Yeah, this is a half that you feel like just, if you catch the football and you make the plays early. Look, that drop by Wingo on the first drive was a big one. You could argue Texas was going downhill on them and was in a great position to score a touchdown on that drive. But you're just giving up too much. Somebody called it undisciplined, whatever you want to call it. But Texas, it comes down to playmaking and making plays. And Texas has not made the plays, and it's been the opposite. They've had drops at inopportune time, drive killers. Probably took a touchdown off a board. You end up getting 3, but it's just been, we've seen it all year from Ryan Wingo. It is. I mean, I don't know what to say. We've seen this all year from Ryan Wingo.
You're probably a few toes short if you're Texas. You've done a pretty good job shooting yourself in the foot this high.
Yeah, I mean, you gave up 2 quick drives and then didn't give up any more points, but you were never able to match it with a drive of your own because of your own mistakes and self-inflicted wounds. I mean, that's a problem, obviously. And yeah, Ryan Wingo, I mean, that drop, he had a trip on the first play that tripped over his own feet. I mean, as we say in the pregame and all week long, the big-time players have to play big time in these kind of games. And outside of Arch Manning, I don't know which Texas player has played a big-time game. Gunnar Stockton, meanwhile, has played a phenomenal game for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Trey Weiser's been good on the opportunities he's gotten.
Yeah, he has. He 6 carries, not enough, but to 19 passes. But we'll see if they make that. There's a number you don't like right there. That's 61 straight wins when leading at halftime. And somebody else, one of our super chatters, said that's now 3 straight games where Texas hasn't scored an offensive touchdown in the first half against Kirby Smart. Yeah.
That's a really bad stat. When Lane Kiffin scored on 5 possessions in a row in the same stadium a few weeks ago. That's a really bad stat to look at. When Lane Kiffin scored touchdowns on his first 5 possessions against Georgia just a few weeks ago in the same stadium.
Yeah, and they did lose because they got outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter. But, Georgia doesn't even start playing their best football till later. So Longhorns have to make some serious changes here. Yeah, really the game as far as yardage and, total time of possession and a lot of the stats pretty even. It's, really about the mistakes for Texas and the drops and the penalties that have really hurt them. When you think about that critical penalty on the kick return, that could have been explosive play to set up something, the Ryan Wingo play to set up something, the Ryan Wingo down the sidelines on a deep ball. All those things, plays, if you make them or don't have a holding call on the kickoff, could have set up scoring opportunities and plays. And, the Longhorns have just, done the opposite of made big plays. They've made big mistakes in this first half, and hence the 3 points and, trailing by 11.
Mr. Young says, what needs to change in the second half? A lot. Got to catch the football. You got to be hard-headed running the football. I mean, if you told me Texas was going to average 6 yards a pop with Trey Wisner and then you stopped running it with him just to keep Georgia honest and thinking and not knowing and playing complementary football offensively, I would have probably said, they're going to run it. They're feeling it. They'll run it a little bit more than they did. 19 passing attempts, 7 rushing attempts from the running backs. When you're averaging over 5 yards a pop, I think you got to be a little more hard-headed with the run. The first thing you got to do is get a stop this first defensive possession. If you can do that and come back with a drive in which you run the football and throw the football and catch the football, actually start playing complementary offensive football. The key is if you can get a stop coming out of half and you can go down and get points, this game can go anywhere. If Georgia drives it down and you scores a touchdown, you're really up against it. But what else has to change? I mean, look, I think you got to – the more I see Anthony Hill in coverage and Georgia's going to attack that, the less I like Texas' chances. I need Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill playing downhill in this game. I need them rushing the passer in this game. I need both of those guys making Gunnar Stockton pre-snap have to wonder which of these two guys is coming after me or both of these guys coming after me. I need to force him to think a little bit more, try to speed him up in this game a little bit more. And the only way you're going to do that, Texas' best defense this year is when both of those guys are rushing the passer.
100%. If you look at the numbers in this half, I mean, it's not like the first half of last year's game or the regular season game. Yardage, I mean, everything's within reason. Penalties, Texas 7 for 43, Georgia 0 for 0. Third down, Texas 0 for 6, Georgia's 3 for 6, and then the 1 turnover. Which, I mean, I'm not excusing the Arch interception at all. It still would have been about a 47-ish yard field goal for Mason Shipley, I think, if my math is right. So I wouldn't guarantee you get points, but at least you'd have given yourself the opportunity to get points if you didn't turn it over right there.
Who says this? Where was that? Somebody said they need to scheme all passes to Emmett Mosley in this game. I agree. 100%.
Yeah, we talked about guys who had a good half, Jerry. He had a good half. Emmett Mosley did.
Really good player. Zach Kern says, Steve just got to settle down. Sarcasm. Sorry, that made me laugh. That was a good one.
Yeah. Guy says, of course, there are no Georgia penalties. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't really know what else I can say about it. It is what it is.
Bo Tex knows is Wingo's hand 100%. Probably not, but he's had the drops all season and going back to some of last year, and he's just never become a consistent player for Texas. I mean, that's just the reality. And I think Ryan Wingo's a very talented football player, but he has never become a consistent player. So is his hand 100%? No, but he had the same drops when it was 100%. So he's just not effective. He'll never be an effective player the way he can be until he gets some pass catching consistency, some route running consistency, and takes his game to a much higher level. And this Texas team needs him to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Arch is playing. I know Arch had the interception there, and people can argue if DeAndre Moore got held and that affected it possibly. But Arch has played really well in this game, really well in the pocket. He is giving his offense a chance. He's 12 and 19, has 4 drops in this game. So, I mean, and a couple of those are big drops on third downs. One of them have been a tough catch, but a couple of those are third downs, too. There's a reason that Texas is 0 for 6 on third downs outside just the number of why they're down 0 for 6. They've had a couple of incompletions there on those third downs, which could have been caught. But Ryan Wingo, if he can't ever get to a more consistent level, then I think Texas has a decision to make on him after the season. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Well, the other thing too, Jerry, when we talk about drops and that, that tough tough ball that, I mean, Arch got it about as good a spot as you can get it for DeAndre Moore in that third down. But Jordan Washington had that drop on second down, where if he makes that catch on that comeback route, you're probably 3rd and 4-ish.
Yeah. Jeff, so first series of the second half, Rod Babers will be joining us shortly. But first drive of the second half, I mean, Texas defensively, I've got to make Gunnar Stockton, unless they run the ball and get like 8 yards on first down, I've got to make it as uncomfortable as possible for Gunnar Stockton. Look, he's 14 of 17, really dialed in this game. He's thrown 1 ball, maybe 2 balls that couldn't have been receptions in this game. Texas has to make him more uncomfortable in the second half. I mean, it's got to happen. You got to take some risks.
That's what I think. You've got to try to disrupt timing. You got to disrupt routes. You can't. I don't know. I know I'm probably just talking to hear myself talk at this point, but I just can't keep giving these guys free releases.
Living rent free says Stockton is better against the blitz. He may be, but you gotta have Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill. He may be better against the blitz. Is he better if those guys are bearing down on him? That's the question.
The risk of Gunnar Stockton beating the blitz is worth the reward potentially of a negative play.
Agreed. Guys, and after the first 2 drives, it tightened up a little bit, but those first 2 drives may come back to be what would get you beat here, because those were too easy as far as the touchdowns go. Our halftime coverage and conversation brought to you by Progress Coffee and Beer Bar here in Buda, Texas, where I do the broadcast from here every game day. Also, Backer is a great line of merchandise you need to check out. It's perfect for the holidays. This is come out pretty recently in the last year or so. Backer is officially licensed Texas Longhorn apparel, clothing, and gear. And you're going to check it out at backer.com. You see it up there in the top corner, bckr.com. And want to remind you, with Backer, we're giving away 4 prizes, I should say, here tonight on our watch along from Backer. If you go to the website, backer.com/pages/on Texas, pages/on Texas, so 2 slashes after BCKR, a $350 gift card is going to be our grand prize tonight. Get signed up for that. They're also giving away a couple of caps or hats from Backer that you want to check out. Make sure you check out that great merchandise. But $350 in a gift card, you're going to want to check that out. That Backer gear is phenomenal. Also, Progress Coffee and Beer Bar and Bear Garden here in Buda, Texas, just east of 35, right across from Cabela's. Great spot, and great crowd gathered out on the beautiful patio they have watching this game tonight in Austin, Texas. They'd like to see some offense here in the second half. Does Arch has to learn to touch on the ball? Yeah, well, I thought Arch played a pretty good first half. He didn't get any help from the guys around him.
It's hard for me to nitpick Arch.
So, yeah, penalty 743-0 for sure. Absolutely. I'm not. People are saying there's social media posts showing a bunch of Georgia holds. I'm here. I'm not on social media.
It is what it is, though, Jerry. Like, you can't go to Athens and expect the officials to be in your favor. I mean, you're doing too much to hurt yourself to worry about what's not getting called against
That's
Georgia.
Right. That's if you're making it, you're making it easier, not making the catches and converting.
The big
penalties.
Sorry,
Lane C, right? Kirby is a lead at battle of adjustments. What do you expect out of the half? Heavier run and tight end targets.
I got a funnel production. Trey Wisner and Emmett Mosley. Those are the 2 guys. If I'm Sark, I got to try to get the ball in their hands.
So his question, the super chat by Lane. What's interesting about this super chat by Lane C, right? Heavier run and tight end targets, that could go both ways. Georgia may just come out running and target the tight end if they can get Anthony Hill in coverage. That is what I would do if I'm Georgia. So that can go both ways. From the Texas standpoint, Texas has to run first you got to force a punt here. If you force a punt and keep this at 11, you have to establish the run game again. I mean, you established a run and walked away from it in the first half of this game. You have to be there, and when you're having success running the football and you walk away from it, that's where any fan's always going to scratch their head. I mean, they always are. Texas did enough on that first drive to make to wet the palate and say, hold on now. And now CJ Allen's out with a hamstring injury. Hold on now. Texas has to run the football. If they can force a punt and you're down 11 in this game, you have to force the run. You have to run the football. You have to start taking a little pressure off of Arch, because what happened late in the second quarter is Georgia started getting more pressure.
Yeah, agreed. But I would say this: if the Longhorns catch the drop passes, people aren't talking about not running the ball, and that really comes back.
This game should really, if Wingo doesn't drop that first pass on third down,
It's probably
it's probably 14-7 game at halftime right now.
Well, so, it was a tough catch, but Wingo down the sidelines, he catches that might set up another touchdown. So there's been opportunities. They just got to take advantage. But the sloppiness and the undisciplined part. I mean, that's really what they felt like they cleaned up in that regard against Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. The second half, Mississippi State, they were disciplined and made plays. Oklahoma in the second half. This game, at least in the first half, has been back to what we saw early in the season, and that's concerning, guys, because these three big road games at Ohio State, at Florida, and at Georgia, you've now scored a combined 10 points total in those three games in the first half. I mean, that's you come out not looking ready to play. First game at Ohio State, bye week at Florida, and now coming off the bye week here, just with your being sharp. Georgia, meanwhile, has played 3 weeks in a row now, and they've been sharp as heck on their side of the ball, but they're probably getting away with some holding calls that aren't getting called. I've seen a few of them, and some defensive plays where they didn't get called. So 0 versus 7, that seems pretty one-sided.
On the penalties, though, it's not so. I mean, the Warren Roberson penalty was huge, obviously. Yeah. The stuff you got to cut out is the pre-snap stuff. The illegal shifts, false starts, that's the stuff you got to cut out. I don't want to say you can live with kind of those live ball penalties, but if a guy's competing, stuff can happen. It's just, man, those pre-snap penalties where you shoot yourself in the foot. Can't do it, man. You can't do it in a game like this.
No, and that's why that Wingo first drop was so critical, because you had worked your way out of that 1st and 15 after Cole Hudson jumped off sides, and you're going to have a chance to overcome that and still get points and get to the end zone, but you got to catch that football. We know that obviously that's been a big issue for this team, and it's been mentioned many times. So, all right. So defensively, Longhorns will come out against Georgia here. Georgia will get the ball. More aggression. I go back to the Vanderbilt game, guys, and they sacked Diego Pavia 6 times. It was making the defense deal with Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons, and that pass rush coming downhill. Would love to see more of that if you can get into a passing situation.
Yeah, but I think we're seeing too, from playing from the pocket, Gunnar Stockton's a different cat than Pavia.
Yeah, he is. You're right about that. 100%. He's played great. I mean, that's between the Texas mistakes and his performance, he has been 14 of 17 for 139. He really hasn't made a bad decision or a bad throw in this game.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, Diego Pavia, I appreciate what he does. He's been great for college football, great for Vanderbilt, great for SEC. Gunnar Stockton's a more talented player, though, and it's not really even close. So, and Daniel Ornato says he has better weapons. Absolutely, he does, but he is a better football. He is a higher ceiling player than Diego Pavia. Gunnar Stockton is going to have a chance to play football for a career at the quarterback position. Diego Pavia is not. And this is Gunnar Stockton's first year as a starter, too.
Yeah, he's been good. I love your comparison this week, Jerry, on our show, the Colt McCoy. And Colt was on the sidelines, by the way, but small school kids that state, grew up wanting to play at the state school and be the quarterback, and maybe thought back of their head, maybe it could happen, but maybe not, because I'm not a 5-star kid. And if Georgia gets Arch Manning, Gunnar Stockton never gets to Georgia, most likely, as far as the scholarship goes. So, or at least, Arch Manning's job. So Arch goes to Texas, and now he's here and taking advantage of it. He's playing some great football right now. I think they're both making their same. I think they both started 12 football games now at the college level, and but Arch has been playing fine, but Gunner's been playing outstanding.
Living rent free. Stockton looks like Brock Purdy to me. Not a bad one. I can see why you say that.
Texas would like to see him look like Brock Purdy his senior year at Iowa State here in the second half, if that could happen. I don't know.
Yeah. Buddy Powell, Chief Big Guy. Texas doesn't have a linebacker's effective in pass coverage. The only one would be Ty Anthony Smith. He has to be that guy for Texas in pass coverage of the guys that are playing. Rod B about to join in. He's 7 garage beers into off coverage in the first half. Rod, what did your garage beers tell you about the
oh man,
PK's off coverage in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. I thought they did. I thought they tightened up the coverage a little bit later on in the first half. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it, right? The underneath routes were going to be open. I was really surprised that Manning was the one that gave up that 3rd and 10, and they blitzed too. They brought 6 on that one.
Yeah,
and when they bring 6, it's coming out. Like it's coming out. There's no way they're gonna run a deep route on you. So no need, to retreat and defend the deeper concept there. That ball's coming out right now. And it did. It came out on an out route. So just something. I mean, obviously, and that's the touchdowns are a little bit. The second touchdown when Cade Phillips is in there, guys, go look at it. You're supposed to be outside leverage. When they show it on the overhead view, you can see the other corners outside leverage because you got inside help. You got the end drops and you got a safety inside. You had both. You had multiple defenders helping you inside, and then the young buck was outside leverage, I believe, slightly. Should have overemphasized that. He still fell for the inside fake. It's like, no need to fall for the inside fake. You got lots of help. You can be slow to the inside cut, whatever it is. And he was overly aggressive for the inside cut. Well, I don't know why, because you got inside help. And then they got him on the whip route there. And then same thing, leverage, right? With Jalen Gilbo on the one that had the condensed set, the first touchdown. There's no need for you to bump that far inside. I mean, if you're a corner, so you're gonna have the end man there, no matter if it's zone or if it's man. That's gonna be your guy. No need for you to bump, outrageously inside and end up getting out leveraged by him and having a minus split as the wide receiver, and then he just runs kind of a deep 7 and ends up wide, not wide open, but open enough.
Rod, we had a super chat earlier for you that we need you to comment on. Bobby's mayor spreader. I'd take Rod Babers at wide receiver over Wingo. Oh man, that was after the drop on 3rd down to start the game. Rod, I had to let you comment on that one.
No, you know what? And I would say this: the crazy part about it is, like I said, those are some nice schemed open throws that Sark has actually kind of engineered as a play design in the first half, and guys are they're dropping them. Remember my big rant about targets to bunch? 3 of your drops have been on targets to bunch, and guys have been open, and guys are not making those clutch plays. Remember, we talked about this. Remember in the SEC title game? Remember Matthew Golden's plays that he was making? Remember them plays? Remember him going up over guys and making big catches? Like, you're going to have to do that to beat Georgia. You ain't going to get – nothing's going to get schemed wide open for you.
No.
Right? You're going to have to make a skillful play right now. Texas ain't doing that. They're not doing that. So that's why you losing that by double digits to Kirby Smart. And what's the record? He's won 61 straight games.
That's all. He's due for a loss, baby.
He is. He's due for it. So good luck with that. Let's hopefully Texas can get it together. But I think for Sark, Sark came in aggressive, and I think a few of his big time players have let him down with some drops and some critical moments too.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on that, guys. Rod, the script and the opening play scripts, I thought it was pretty sharp. But we'll talk about it as we go, because we're going to get into the third quarter here, and our third quarter is going to be brought to you by Callahan's General Store. As we get this thing going, thank you to Progress Coffee and Beer Bar here in Buda, and Backer. BCKR is where you're going to find that. BCKR.com, that great gear. But that's not how you wanted to have to start on special teams with a Zachariah Branch return out to the 47-yard line. There are no penalties. No flags down, of course, because Georgia hadn't had a penalty called in this game.
Yeah, and that's what usually Texas has a special teams advantage because they do have excellent special teams. That's not going to be the case in this game. We've talked about that. You're not going to have the special teams advantage. Georgia has some of the best special teams in the country. So we shall see. I mean, you got to hold them to a field goal at the least, but you'd love to be able to have them punt this football and Texas be able to put some points on the board coming out of the half. This is a big momentum drive.
Oh, 100%. You know, Kirby Smart wanted that. There's an opening defensive stand, but they know they go down and get some points here. You got to make Texas really chase, because Texas right now is one touchdown drive away from being right in the ball game. You make it a 2-score game or a 3-score game, look out.
Yeah, but Kirby's this is not a first half team. Georgia's a second half team. That's the scary thing. All season long, they've been a second half team, not really a first half team. They've actually defensively have struggled a little in the first half, in the first quarter. They've made their best efforts, at least defensively, in the second half.
Big second down here. Okay, they're going to make it third and manageable. It's an easy, extended run play out there to the freshman on the wing. And, big third down here, 3rd and 5 now.
3rd and 5. Be interesting to see how Texas attacks this 3rd and 5, because they can run it. It's a wide open down for Georgia.
Yeah, it is, because there's probably 2 down territory if they get positive yards here. Oh, nice job. Ball knocked down by the Longhorns, and now it's decision time for Kirby Smart here early on second half. After a long kick return, the defense did their job.
I think he'll punt it. And he played field position. He's got good special teams.
His punter hadn't had a good night tonight, though.
That's fair. Good play. Good play by the D-line. Nice. January.
Alex January getting up. Yeah. That's a big stand, man, for them to get that kick return out to midfield and then go 3 and out. That's a win. But
that's no question. That's a win.
That's the punt return is gonna possibly create a long field situation. But another below average punt by one of the better punters in the country. That's he has not had a great night. Longhorns will take it. Ryan Niblett with a fair catch.
I think it's the Niblett influence. I think because usually there's some directional, aspect to that or element to your punting where you're trying to kick away from that guy, or you're trying to kick it really high so that your punt coverage can get down there. I think that's the Niblett influence. It's hard to have a great punting day against him. Otherwise, you're either kicking to him or you're trying to always kick away from him.
That's a great point. Yeah, you're kind of being mental about it instead of just letting it go. And Ryan Niblett with all that. They've seen the tape. They've seen all the punt returns. So almost had a long kick return in this game. They got called back on a penalty. So
that was brutal.
He's a game changer. All right, here we go. Longhorns with the ball at the 20-yard line, 80 yards to try to make this a ball game again.
Let's go.
There's Trey Wisner with the nice and effective, and they just let the report out that C.J. Allen, is he back or is he going to be out? I couldn't hear what the report was. Looks like C.J. Allen's going to be out, number 3, hamstring injury. Yeah, it didn't look good for him. And that's huge. He's their best of their 3 good linebackers, yeah.
It's their best player on defense.
Don't go backwards here. Don't go backwards, and he did. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, if he start trying to attack it, though, you lose their best linebacker. I understand why he's trying to see, all right, how does that affect their run defense? You're losing your best player in the front 7. I think he tried to run the football. Worked on the first down, not on the second.
Well, Trey Wiseman's got to get to the ground there. He lost. That was going to be 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
Big problem.
3rd and real long.
Yeah, 0 for 6 so far, and a lot of them have been these 3rd and longs. Longhorns would like to convert a 3rd down, but we got to be careful here if you're Arch Manning deep in Georgia territory, or your own territory, I should say. Good throw right there. Ryan Wingo caught it. All right, 1st down Texas. Good throw by Arch. Nice rhythm throw that time.
3rd and 13? Man. I'm going to say it, though. They did. Ooh, motion to the bunch, too. Motion to the stack. Beautiful. Love it. Motion to the stack.
Yeah, love that. All right, big 3rd down. That's 3rd and 13. So now see if you can get some momentum going here. Made up for the negative play with Wisner. There's a good throw. DeAndre Moore out to the 50-yard line. Longhorns are on the move. And, this is one of those things with Rod, when your best player goes out on defense and if Texas goes score, they start to think a little bit. That's the guy that's kind of their Michael Taff on their defensive side of the ball.
Yep. You got to take advantage of it. And that was that play. Usually it's almost like works like a stock block and go. They think they're going to run that wide receiver screen that they run when that orbit screen they run with Ryan Wingo. Watching it. Yes, that's a nice play call. Nice design.
All right, so see where they spot that ball. Looked like it was another couple yards up on, but by the time he caught, I guess he bobbled it a little bit because that's what Ryan Wingo does, but they're going to make it a 3-yard gain. Because because they would have given him a forward progress if he had clawed it clean, but I don't think he did. By the time he secured it, it was a couple yards back. It would have been third and five, second and
Ryan
five.
Winslow doesn't know, but trust me, if you have bad hands, Longhorn fans will never let you live it down, Ryan.
Yes.
You're going to be dealing with it forever, brother.
Hey, you'd much rather have I bet you'd much rather have a cornerback with bad hands than a wide receiver one.
That's fair. Oh, all right.
All right, Ryan Niblett in the game. It's one of those things. It's almost like a turn signal. When Ryan Niblett's in the game, you almost know it's going to him. They don't put him in the game and not give him the ball.
I feel like that too.
And there's a holding. That's not good. That's the 8th penalty on Texas. 8-0 are the penalties so far.
Yeah, I mean, Texas has been their own worst enemy. And I mean, they're just tracks, right? They've been one of the worst teams, most undisciplined teams in terms of penalties all season long.
Yeah, Connor Robertson, the center, is going to get this one. That's 8, I believe. Yeah, I mean, Arch Manning in this offense, they kind of have to – Arch has to keep overcoming what's going on. And, yeah, that's a hold. Yeah, well, that's a good call. I know Longhorn fans would like to see some of those called the other way, but we'll see. Now it's going to be 2nd and 17. This is one where you try to get half of that and see if you can make it manageable. Force something to try to get all 17 of it.
Yeah.
And that's just the quality of that Georgia defense, Rod. I mean, that's a little quick play that could go for some yards against some other teams, but they're just going to tackle so well.
And Archer's doing a great job working through progressions and taking the check down. I mean, he really is. He's not getting greedy or impatient. And you can't against Georgia, otherwise they'll make you pay for it.
Yeah, he's just slowing down and not playing too quickly and just playing ball. He's very instinctual tonight, I think.
Man, I don't get that.
I don't either. Yeah, against a blitz too. I mean, third down like that, you kind of know Kirby's coming with something.
Yeah, I don't get the call though. I'm a little confused by the play call.
I wonder if Sark thought they were going to play coverage and thought he could catch him and try to make it a decision on fourth down. Instead, they brought the double blitz, and here we go. So now it's going to be Georgia ball at the 18-yard line. Let me tell you, our friends at Callahan's General Store bringing you the third quarter. My buddy Charlie Wilson and his team. Callahan's has been in Austin between downtown and the airport there, off Montopolis on 183 since 1978. They are a staple. So many legends in Austin and Central Texas have gone by the wayside. Callahan's is still going strong and good as ever for all of your yard and garden essentials and needs. You need stuff for your pets and furry friends and animals. You've got live animals you need, or stuff for the deer lease or the blind. They got everything for you. Also, if you've got Christmas coming around the corner, they got a great place for Christmas shopping. All the Western wear gear you need. The Landman's back out this weekend. All that stuff, great hats and boots, and you can look like Landman and Yellowstone. All there for you, plus the housewares and hardware. It's just a great general store with great people, family owned and operated since 1978, and still rolling. Go see them on that 13 acres of expansive spread right there between downtown and the airport. 183 in Montopolis. Online at Callahan'sGeneralStore.com. Always a good day to make it a Callahan's Day here in Austin, Texas. All right, Rod. So defense, after the first two drives where they gave up two quick touchdowns, here they are. They haven't given up a point since. What have you seen as far as an adjustment goes for Texas?
Tighter coverage, number one. I think that's been a big part of it. But I think they've been trying to exploit the second level of coverage and the third level of coverage for Texas. So I think they're going to try to go for another kill shot here, I believe, honestly. I think they're going to try to take advantage of Texas being aggressive on their rush defense. I think they may try, just so Texas is on the lookout for it. I do think you may get a play action shot here from Georgia. Just because right now they got Texas on the ropes, but they have not put Texas, like they have not finished this Texas team yet. I do think they are looking for the kill shot.
I agree with you on that. I think that's kind of a good read of the game here from the 18-yard line. I'm sure Kirby's kind of kicking himself that they didn't go for something like that from the 50-yard line on the last drive, and Texas got them 3 and out. But I think you're right. I mean, Texas is kind of hanging around. Kirby understands they're one play, one drive away from being right back in this.
And we know how Texas gets in the fourth quarter. In the Texas fourth quarter, they get in desperation mode. Crazy things happen. I got a feeling Kirby wants to he don't want to play a field position game here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because he understands 21-3 might be game, set, match on the road like this. But long as it's 14-3, then Texas is one drive, one play away from getting right back in it and making it a ball game. So agree with you on that. So, all right, so 201 total yards for Georgia. Man, most of them came on that first couple drives. Texas defense has played much better since then and have really tightened up. But it's brought its 8 penalties now. It's 4 drop passes. It's 1 turnover. I mean, these are just it reminds me a little bit of the Florida meets the Ohio State game, just moving the ball, but frustratingly undisciplined and sloppy, which is not what we've seen this year. But at the same time, you felt like maybe the Vanderbilt game, the end of the Mississippi State game, they maybe cleaned some of that stuff up. But it's certainly all back tonight.
No, to me, it feels like Ohio State. I think you're right about that because you shouldn't even be in the game, but you are in the game. Like you haven't played well enough to really be in the game, but you find yourself right in this game. All you need is a stop and a score. Like literally, that's all you need, and it's a game again. And so I think that's the frustrating thing. And that was the thing about the Ohio State game the entire time. It's like, man, Texas is playing offensively. Defense, I think they were playing really well, but offensively, they weren't playing well, and yet Ohio State never put them away.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And I think that's maybe what Georgia's trying to do this drive. But this defense could have a lot to say about it.
I think Sark was thinking like you were, PK, because he brought Grayson Littleton on a corner blitz that time to try to get Gunner offset if they were going to try to take a shot there.
Ooh.
Oh, there it is. Anthony Hill in coverage with that interception. That could be the game-changing play the Longhorns were looking for, Rod.
Nice.
And Jerry Hamilton and I and Jeff were talking about the whole first half that get Anthony Hill in coverage and try to exploit that. That time Anthony Hill stepped up and made a big-time play, kind of anticipating they were going to go after him.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the weak point, right, for the Texas defense is that second level in coverage. And you can see him. I mean, he's reading. That's a great job. He identifies the receiver, not just dropping back, but identify. That's been the big problem, too. It's like, yeah, you can just drop back in coverage and get depth, but can you identify the route concepts? Like identify the route that's coming to you. And he did that. You can tell. That was great. That was a great job and great eye discipline by Anthony Hill.
And great play right there. That could be the play Texas needed. They've even turnovers and now see if they can
that was an NFL play
drive. Yeah, that was.
That was an NFL linebacker right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was an NFL linebacker. That was fantastic. That's been their big issue for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Linebacker depth in coverage.
Yeah, big players got to make big plays in big games, and you hadn't really had one yet. They've had a lot of bad plays, but now you get a big one. Here's Ryan Wingo. Oh, man, on the move, and he just got tripped up by his own tight end, or he had blockers downfield. That's frustrating right there. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 6 here. Got to take advantage of this turnover in this field position, but good play design, and he had blockers. He just, Brian Wingo's got to keep his feet on that.
He's got to keep his feet on that, and that's what he was doing, right? In the Vanderbilt game and the Mississippi State game to break it, he just kept his feet and made that one guy miss.
That's a great catch by Ryan Wingo right there, and that's what you needed. That's a big-time catch, big-time play. You're talking about that at halftime, Rod. Georgia's not going to give you a lot. You're going to have to go up and make some catches.
That was a hell of a play on 3rd and 6. I will also point out targets to bunch formation. Just saying. Throwing it out there.
Always on point, Rod B. That's a heck of a catch.
Yeah, it's a hell of a catch, man. It really was.
And a good throw by Arch into that zone coverage. It's a low percentage play. Nobody in the backfield here, so empty formation. got knocked down. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 now from the 19. Longhorns certainly in field goal range, but boy, a touchdown would send some positivity on that Longhorn sidelines. And Georgia playing without their best defensive player in C.J. Allen. Texas defense has bowed up since the initial couple of drives of the ball game. So let's see if the Longhorns can take advantage of this.
Sark's got to dial it up, man. He's got to dial it up. This is on Sark. He knows. Kirby knows his staples on those critical downs.
And that's going to be a sack that time. And that's, Kirby had it dialed up. Kirby knew what was going on that time.
Yep.
So they did the little fake, and
Kirby knows what you. I mean, that's why this is a chess match between Sark and Kirby. It really pretty much is. Like that was a critical down, and now you got another one, and especially in the red zone.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen maybe a run play to Trey Wisner in that little series as you got to the 18-yard line. Trey Wisner has, run the ball 33 yards, 4.1 yards a carry, and
it's not bad.
Back-to-back passes that time that go incomplete. I mean, I get inside the 20-yard line. I want to try to see if I can, run the football a little bit into the goal line area. But either way, they're going to call timeout here, 3rd and 13. You're in field goal range for Mason Shipley, but after that interception,
I like the timeout. It's critical. You definitely need points, but a touchdown would really give you momentum again. Like you need some momentum, and touchdown gives you momentum, but you cannot have a negative play, or you can't have an ill-advised play. So you can't make a bad decision here. So I like the timeout call. It's critical.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you, Rod, or with the people on the chat here. As I just said, you got down to the 19-yard line, 1st and 10, and you went back-to-back pass that went incomplete, and you took a sack. Trey Wisner has 8 carries. Arch has 27 pass attempts. You have been running the football somewhat effectively. I'm not sure about that, but obviously the ball gets knocked down. Arch takes a sack. I would like to see some run plays there, much like we saw in the Oklahoma game.
I mean, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't criticize that. They had momentum, and now the momentum has stalled a little bit just because of the sack, man. Get the negative play, and now
I know. It's just I'm nitpicking.
You want to stay ahead of the chains, and now you're way behind the chains. So I agree with you. The whole point is stay ahead of the chains, and then Georgia can't dial up all those exotic blitzes, and they don't have you in a predictable situation. Now you're in a predictable passing situation. Like everybody knows you got to throw it, and now you put also Arch in a compromising position because he's at this point I think was 3rd and 13 for Dylan.
3rd and 13, yeah.
Man, I love the targets to bunch. I'll just keep saying it. That's been your best weapon all day. Is targets to bunch formation because they can't be aggressive. They cannot. They can't jam your receivers. Really, they have to play with a cushion, and they have to let the routes develop. So you automatically know your guys get a free release, and usually you can scheme open for your best guys the best way with targets to bunch formation. So
feels to me like, Rod, and something else you've talked about a lot this year. The scramble drill play here. If you can protect it enough to where our Arch can, because they're probably to be covered pretty well by our Georgia on your initial wave and routes, but something to off schedule a little bit for Arch. This is where you can pick up this 3rd down and maybe even get something bigger, but it may have to come off a scramble drill because we haven't seen Arch take off and run at all in this game.
No, not at all. Hasn't been a factor. Now I don't know if he has a spy on him because I haven't went back and watched all the plays. But he may put a spy on him on a 3rd and 13. To your point, he might put a spy on him. Maybe Texas will move the pocket. That's not a bad idea on a 3rd and 13.
I would like to see that. Man, I mean scramble drill like him scrambling, but also keeping his eyes alive to throw something down the field on the the second action. As you say, you can only cover a guy for so long before he's going to break free, and if Arch can give him that chance, because I think to get 13 yards. You're asking a lot to make it scheme it open, as you like to say, Rod. But we'll see. Just be instinctual, make a play here. This is the biggest little series here as there's been in this ball game. If Texas, as we said, get back to 10, they're right back in this game, and Georgia's the one feeling the momentum. They get a stop here. They got to be feeling like it's a win for them after the interception by Anthony Hill.
Kirby likely to go man. He always does in these situations. That's his go-to. He on empty.
Oh, well, didn't get picked off. That's good. Ryan Niblett was the intended target. There is a penalty flag. Could this be Georgia's first penalty?
He had time, though, too. He had time in a clean pocket, though. Relatively clean.
Huge, Rod. First penalty on Georgia right there. And it comes at a big time. It's going to be an automatic first down and a 1st and 10 at the Georgia 7. 15-yard penalty. Oh, yeah. Well, they call it. Yeah, that's a penalty all the way down the field. So I like the read by Arch. Arch thought that he was going to get through clean, and he got held up, and that's a good penalty.
I'll tell you what I like. I like the personnel group, and you essentially went empty formation. Ryan Niblett was your running back. So essentially you got 4 wide receivers on the field and a tight end when you think about it.
Well, now you're to the 7-yard line. Now
you're going to have a matchup advantage somewhere there. So I like that Sark. So I'm saying Sark's got to get in his bag here now. You're going to be as Kirby Smart. You got to find a way. And that was a brilliant personnel decision. By the way, I will say on Football Theory, I did suggest that. Great. It's a great design. Like Ryan Wingo.
Oh, there it is.
Empty. I love it.
Touchdown, Ryan Wingo. There it was. Tight sets and nice job. Fake to the outside with the corner route, and then come back to the post route with Ryan Wingo, and he caught it, and it's a touchdown. And the Longhorns are back within right in this ball game with 5:27 to go in the third quarter. Brought to you by Callahan's General Store. Great throw by Arch too, by the way.
Love it. I will say
third progression.
Yep. Target to bunch too. Closely clustered group of receivers. That's the way you're gonna do it with them. You can't spread out with Georgia too much. They got too much speed. They close the speed down. They close the space down too quickly.
Props to this defense. It's gotten 2 stops here, and then the interception that set this up. And now, in the first half, your big-time players weren't making big-time plays. They were making mistakes. And now Ryan Wingo is catching everything on this drive. And that's a heck of a throw by Arch Manning.
That was a great throw. Well, great job by Ryan Wingo, too. I mean, like I said, they're going to play man. That's what they were doing. Aggressive man. And Ryan Wingo fought through contact. The ref let him play, fought through contact. Good job. I mean, that's what you got to do in the red zone. Everything's going to be messy in the red zone. But that's why Texas is getting these big physical wide receivers, right? What's the point of having these bigger receivers, 6'2", 6'3" guys with all this length and all this range if they can't be physical in the red zone, right? To make contested catches and to make physical catches. And if they can't win 50-50 balls, which early on, by the way, we weren't seeing Ryan Wingo do. We weren't winning 50-50 balls in the contested catches. But now you have these guys like Emmett Mosley and Livingston and Ryan Wingo. They have all this size. They should give their quarterbacks a huge advantage. I don't have to make the perfect throw every time. You guys should be able to give me a bigger window with catch radius to make those kind of plays. And be able to be physical at the point of attack. Like that was a fight with the DB for 4-5 yards. That wasn't a route. He had a fight with the DB for 4-5 yards. And then once he created space and got some separation, the ball was on the money.
Great plays. Great points, Rod.
Yeah, he didn't really run a route.
Yeah. Well, no, he just fought through it. Yeah. Well, and go back to because the Longhorns went 2 for 2 on their third downs on that drive. And obviously the penalty call was big. And from the 3rd and 13 from the 22-yard line, to dial up that concept. Speak on that again, Rod, of what they did there to create the pass interference call that set up the touchdown.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I like. Well, I just like the fact that the personnel package that he used, essentially it was, they're going to say it's 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end. But when Ryan Niblett, your running back, I mean, that essentially is 4 wide receivers on the field to me. I don't know how Kirby didn't want to treat it, but we know Ryan Niblett is not really a running back. He's more of a wide receiver. Maybe he's a hybrid guy. But the fact that you put him out there and go empty, you're stressing a defense to the nth degree. Not only with empty, you've heard me talk about empty, that the formation itself, it stresses a defense, all right, because you're putting so many guys out on routes. But also with Ryan Niblett, you got a speed guy, one of the most explosive players in the country, and now you're likely put a linebacker on him because he was in the backfield, and now you end up in an oh-ish moment, like, hold up, we got a linebacker, I think, on this guy, or the whatever the matchup may be, or safety on him, whoever it may be, and you're probably going to have a matchup advantage. You can see I don't know if it was a predetermined read, but likely was because they went right to Ryan Niblett. Like, no, this is the matchup we want. This is the matchup we want to get. It's Niblett. Whoever he's on, it ain't going to be a DB likely. It's going to be some other disadvantaged player in coverage.
Yeah. Well, and then they went right at him, and that led to the pass interference because the defense looked confused, and all he could do was reach out and, pretty much tackle Ryan Niblett as he came by him. And that was an obvious call on the first penalty call in Georgia. Mr. and Mrs. Rod B's next 3 children need to be named Target Babers, 2 Babers, and Motion Babers. In case of a twin, Bunch Babers. Hook them.
I'm just saying it's working though. Like it's one of the only things working for you. I mean, you got to admit, like it's working for you.
I think I kind of like, and to the message. Thank you very much for the chat. I like Pony Package. Pony's a cool name. Pony Babers. You know what I mean? Pony Package.
Yeah, you like George Costanza, like 7.
Yeah.
Pony. It's a great Pony.
Pony, but middle name Package. Pony Package.
Yeah, you're right. Oh man, no man, this that was, like I said, that was a great call by Sark. I give him a lot of props for that.
All right, here comes Arch Manning trying to fire up the troops. What do you think Kirby Smart's thinking right now? 14-10, 5:21 to go. His offense hadn't moved the ball much.
We talked about it. It was like I bet they wanted to deliver a kill shot. Now Texas in it. Like that's all they needed was a stop and a score. Now they're in this thing, and I guarantee you, Kirby is probably kicking himself a little bit. Like we kind of had a chance to put him away, and we didn't. Now they're back in this thing, and now it's gonna be a dogfight. No pun intended.
Yeah, good pressure that time. Jelani McDonald, good tackle. That's it. Gunnar Stockton's making a lot of plays, man. This feels like it's going to be a quarterback duel to the finish line. Gunnar Stockton, immediate pressure right in his face, and he still found his outlet. Colin Simmons got right to him, and he still did a little jump pass to get the ball to his tight end. That's a big-time play by Gunnar Stockton.
Yep, I like that. Yeah, no, he's probably the most underrated player in the SEC. Nobody talks about him, but
yeah, he's a heck of a ball player, man. It's a good player.
He's been money all season long. He really has been.
Oh, nice, Alex January. Another big play. He had a tip ball earlier, and now, the ball's out.
Whoa.
They're calling him down. I think, on the running back. But,
man, I mean, turnovers we ain't talking about. That's one thing Texas is good at, right? They're top 10 in the country in turnover margin. And the turnovers really just changed the complexion of this game entirely.
Yeah, that was almost Alex January wrapped him up, and I guess he got his knee to the ground before he popped it out. But now big 3rd down here, 3rd and 3. Watch for the legs of Gunnar Stockton. He can run. Longhorns playing press coverage right now on the outside. Anthony Hill in a bringing pressure situation, or look at least. Make a tackle, you get out. Well, that's going to be 1st down. Nope, yard short, Rod.
Ooh.
Anthony Smith got out there and he pushed him out of bounds.
Man, that's why you never give up on the play. Now,
you got to punt the ball here from the 36-yard line. They don't have to, but
I would say it. Yeah, I mean, you would think that it's not a hard decision to make.
They're going to act like they're going for it. No, Gunnar Stockton's coming off the field. They're going to punt.
Yeah, they're going to punt it.
Now look at that, Rod. You know how the TV producers think. They're starting to show the Georgia fans getting worried. They're going to probably challenge that, or they're going to ask to challenge it.
Smart move.
Nope. No, they're going to punt. Don't jump off sides if you're Texas. Yeah, now they're going to look at it, I think. Kirby wants them to look at it. Yeah, you got to look. I mean, I don't know if there's an angle that's going to show because it's really about – yeah, Kirby wants them to look at it. Kirby used the timeout. Keep that in mind. This looks like it's going to be a close game that's going to go to the 4th quarter that Kirby used the timeout that time.
I think he's short.
I do too. I just, we got to see some angles here, but I haven't seen an angle that's going to tell me that he got there. And Anthony Smith's one of the fastest linebackers for Texas. He got there and kind of gave him a shove.
Because he didn't put the ball out.
You're right.
He kept the
ball was in the right hand, right?
Yeah, like I was gonna say if he put the ball out, because I think
you're right. But you're right about that. The ball was out on his. If his ball's in his left hand, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like or he had both of them, and I get it. Like the line's supposed to go. I don't know whatever. It goes on in perpetuity, whatever it is. Like I can see that. Like I don't know. I think
this feels like one of those that if they had called it 1st down in play, that they would keep it. But I don't know if they can overrule that. But they are in Athens, Georgia. Keep in mind.
A little home cooking. I get that.
Yeah, and Kirby's the dean of the coaches right now, so
He knows how to work. He knows how to work officials, though. That's one thing Sark's got to learn still a little bit. But Kirby will work them officials, man. Like he's a college basketball coach. He's working them.
Yeah, but that's because he's not calling defense, right? He's coaching.
That's a good point, E.
Yeah.
That's a good point. 4th down. He's short.
All right, so the Longhorns have not given up a point since the first 2 drives for the Georgia Bulldogs that went to touchdowns, and now they've got a chance to get the ball back. And their offense is finding some rhythm. Their best players are starting to make some plays. Arch Manning's playing a heck of a game, 20 of 22 for $187. I'd watch for a fake punt here. Oh, they're going for this. They're going for this,
What?
Rod.
Whoa, the testicular fortitude. The scones.
Hello, Jerry.
What's going on?
Scones, man.
Kirby's going for a riverboat gambler. Fourth down from the 36-yard line.
Kirby scones here, man. Goodness.
Are they going to snap it? Oh, they got big extra offensive linemen in the game. Yep, they're snapping it. And they're going to get it. And a little more than that. Great call to the freshman running back.
Too, that the rollout. Rollout's been killing Texas lately, too. Man,
they flipped the line of scrimmage. They ran play action. You're worried more about Gunnar Stockton running, and he just flipped it out to the freshman running back. And now they're staying heavy here, guys.
That was a great play call. They're going 13 on you, man. They're going 13 like Sean McVay out there.
Yeah.
It's nice. That was nice.
Good play by Texas.
Great play.
Yeah, that's going to be Brad Spence.
I like it. You're going to make Gunnar Stockton beat you. That's what Texas is trying to say in the second half. Like, we're going to make Gunnar Stockton beat us. He already threw a pick, so we're going to make Gunnar Stockton beat him.
Absolutely.
That's the game plan.
Georgia running backs have 14 carries for 31 yards in this game. You take that all day long right now.
Yep. If they lose, it's going to have to be Stockton to do it.
Here we go, and there's the sack. And it's the Longhorns have figured out some coverages, tighten those up as Rod Babers told you. And now the pressure getting home, and Gunnar Stockton does not look nearly as comfortable as he did in the first couple of drives of the ballgame. Colin Simmons that time, and Ty Anthony Smith, and Anthony Hill coming.
I mean, look at the corners. Corners playing.
Hey, Rod, what do we talk about all week? If you can get them in 5-man protection, even Mississippi State was getting pressure on their 5 in 5-man protection. They had a running back chip, but still.
Yep, especially in straight drop back situation.
Yes. Ernest Green at right tackle is okay in pass pro. They're still young at guard while talented.
All right, so that's going to be short, but will they go for this one? It's 4th down and 5 from just inside midfield.
Yeah, no way.
Will he try to draw Texas off, though? Will he play games?
I'll give PK a lot of credit. Give his secondary credit, too, because somebody told him, like, you guys got to start playing stickier coverage.
They're going for it again, guys. Back-to-back 4. Oh, and Colin Simmons jumped offside.
No.
And a penalty. Back-to-back on Warren Roberson.
Wow.
That's going to be 2 penalties on Texas.
Wow. Wow. Talk about a meltdown at the wrong time. Wow. Man, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they're going to snap that ball if Colin doesn't jump off sides, and he jumped off sides, so they snapped it.
Nope. That was literally like, let's see if we can make them jump. I think you're right. I think they would just.
Colin Simmons cannot do that, guys.
Chat, y'all are making me crack up. Y'all are funny.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to snap the ball, guys. And then you get this one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What do you make of the corner rotation, Rod? I mean, it's been a lot of different guys. I mean, Cade Phillips has been out there, Warren Roberson.
Sark said he was opening it up. He literally said that, like, before the bye week. He was like, it's because the competition is open outside of Manny Muhammad. That spot is an open competition. So it's disappointing because I think now that is considered one of your weak spots on the defense at this point. Like if you go into a game plan against Texas, you attacking the corner opposite man, and you going after them. Like we gonna have a lot of our passing concepts just for this person right here. Like that's just the way it is. It'd be malpractice if you didn't do that as an opposing coach against Texas.
All right, so Callahan's General Store bringing you this third quarter, and now they're going to call what? Medical stoppage, okay. Somebody had a great super chat there.
I think it's for the chat, the medical stoppage.
Oh, Jelani. Boy, the defense, it's just one of those frustrating drives. Defense feels like it's playing well and getting you into get off the field situations, and Kirby goes for it on a big gamble from his own 35-yard line on a 4th down. When it felt like you're getting off the field, then I don't think they're going to snap that football, and your best player on defense jumps off sides. Golly.
But that's who you've been all year. That's not like uncharacteristic of Texas, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
but it's still frustrating.
It is
because you feel like you're playing with the momentum. You got a chance to get the ball back twice for an offense that's starting to find some rhythm, and here you go. So that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Brought to you by Callahan's General Store. Get over and see Callahan's, man. This time of year, it's fall into winter coming, so you got to winterize your lawn, get that winter ryegrass down. They'll have everything. I have a house and a home, so I go over there. I don't know anything about lawns or haven't known anything, but I just go over to Callahan's. They tell me exactly what to buy, what to purchase, how to apply it, and do that once a month or so, depending on the season. And what do you know? Everything I'm doing now is about winterizing and preventing, winter weed or spring weeds and bugs and bug prevention and all the stuff that comes with that. Your trees as well. Take care of it. Callahan's General Store. They have everything you need, plus the people that will guide you right to the products you need, teach you how to apply them properly, and you won't need one of those expensive yard services when you go to Callahan's General Store. Also, Christmas season around the corner, so holiday shopping at Callahan's for that Western wear, great power tools and tools that for that workshop. They have those as well. And all the pets if you have pets and furry friends and live animals, they've got all the essentials at Callahan's General Store. They've been there since 1978, and they're still family owned and operated. One of the few long-standing legends in Austin, Texas, that's still going strong. It's Callahan's General Store right there between downtown and the airport, between downtown and the airport, off Montopolis, right there at 183. Great people. Callahan's General Store. Always a good day to make it a Callahan's day. All right, guys, fourth quarter. Ball is going to be where? I'm looking at the ball mark here. But this is one of those, if you could force a field goal, you still feel you're okay. You can't give up a touchdown. Can't
give up a touchdown. Got to hold them to a field goal attempt. Bottom line, you nailed it.
And doesn't it feel like this third quarter coming to an end helps right now, Rod, that this defense felt like they got off the field a couple times, maybe just to get a pause, almost like a free timeout here to, take a break, talk about some things. Let's refocus, recenter, because it felt like that's one of those things like the chat's getting frustrated. I'm sure the defense is getting frustrated too.
I'm with you. I think, you need to get to the point where cooler heads, right, in this situation. It seems like guys are hyped up, and they definitely were. That's the result of that. Fourth down, and the third down before that. So I think ultimately for this defense, you got to go out there and force a negative play of some kind. Like that's what you do really well. Force negative plays, havoc plays. They take away the football. You need a big play. You need a splash play of some kind. The stop would be great too, just getting the 3 and out. But I think to stop this Georgia offense right now, you got to get them behind the chains and then get Connor Stockton in a predictable passing situation. That's when I think you have the advantage, because Connor Stockton, he's not great throwing the football downfield. You just gave them a first down with the penalties. But when he's got to go third and long, that's they don't even throw the football downfield. They usually go to a check down or they go to an underneath route to try to get yak yards for that. So that's just not a strength of his. They know that. So they designed the passing game to be short, underneath, and to be a quick passing game. So Texas, you just got to get him in that situation. That's why you got to win on early downs.
Well, and doesn't that, Jerry, make it all the worse that they gave up those 2 easy touchdowns to Gunnar Stockton when they were playing the loose coverage and not really attacking like they have been ever since the first 14 points. The only points were put on the board.
Yeah, I wasn't here for the third quarter, but there are a couple of things happened in the third quarter. While we'll see what happens with the game, but it's been positive for Texas just sitting on the couch watching it. Ryan Wingo bounced back from some adversity in the first half. Actually made contested catches, a couple of really good catches in the third quarter there. I thought that was good to see for him.
A little bounce back for him.
Yeah, a little bounce back there. I think Tyanthe Smith's playing really well at linebacker in this game. Alex January continues to play really good football, even though his name's not called a lot, playing really good up front. The interior of the Texas defense is playing really well up front now. I mean, Georgia's running backs have 15 carries for 38 yards. You only doing that if your interior is playing really high-level football.
All right, field goals, what you're trying to force, ball at the 30-yard line. Our fourth quarter brought to you by Driven Auto Service. In addition to Driven Auto Sales, we'll tell you about that coming up. They service every car and take care of great cars. They also have a location in New Braunfels that you can check out. We'll tell you about those coming up.
Oof.
That's too easy right there. And that's
what the?
Oh, he spiked the ball. That should be a 15-yard penalty.
What was the coverage?
Dude, if they don't throw the flag on the clear spike.
What are we looking at? What's the coverage? What are we doing? The target.
Well, give Kirby Smart a couple of kudos here, going for it twice on fourth down, understanding, giving the ball back to Texas right now is not in their benefit, and they went on a 10-play, 73-yard scoring drive, went for it on fourth down twice when it felt like Texas's defense had the advantage. So they bounced back from the Anthony Hill interception and Ryan Wingo touchdown to respond with a 30-yard touchdown of their own, and now it's back to an 11-point game with 14:20 to go.
I know y'all think I talk about targets to bunch too much, but they literally just motion to bunch. Stack formation caused a miscommunication for Texas between Michael Taft and Jalen Gilbo, and that's the touchdown. Like that's why you do it. You do it because it forces DBs to have to communicate. If we have to communicate, especially at the last minute before the ball snap, there's very likely a lot of times to be a miscommunication, or they won't communicate. But they'll assume the other guy knows what the other guy's supposed to do. Oh, he knows his job. Sometimes that guy doesn't. And that's why you do it. You want to try to force them to have to make a decision, force them to have to problem solve quickly. And
in real time, yep.
Motion to bunch formations, and then literally they have to read the route concepts, and then once the route determines, determine whatever the route based on the coverage they're playing, it determines if they have to be over the top, or one guy to take the underneath route, or one guy takes the inside route, or the outside cut. All that is based on you forcing them to have to make that communication and that decision. And you don't force them to do it, then hey, they just play their regular coverage rules and everything's simple. But you make it really complex, and you make it really difficult at times when you do that at the last minute. That's why they motion, and right at motion at the snap, they're already stacked when they motion the snap, and the DBs are already like.
Georgia came with the onside kick, guys. They got it. Unbelievable play call.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there. That's Kirby Smart going for it on fourth down twice, and now the onside kick and kill shot. Yep.
He's looking for the kill shot, man. He's been trying to go for that haymaker. Because he was tired that he led Texas back in the game. He's upset about that. He's like, man, we let him back in. We had him, and now, boom, we got to finish Texas. Because if you don't finish Texas, they will stay in the game. They didn't make it a fourth quarter game out of nowhere. He's seen it happen too many times this year.
Boy, Jeff Banks' special teams, man. They've been good this year and won some games for Texas, but that's one where Kirby got him.
You got him. Yep. Nobody saw it coming. I will say nobody saw that coming. They didn't. I didn't.
I didn't see it coming.
I did not see that coming. When he's got scones, though, we talked about that. Kirby's got scones the size of smart cars, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it's a referendum on Texas football. So I'm sorry, Arch, and everybody.
Well, and now your defense has to rally right now. You force a field goal, maybe you can be in this game. You have a touchdown, this game's over. And you've got to find your scones yourself right here, because your defense was probably game planning and making adjustments, and now they're right back on the field. This is kill shot time And let's go back to that Colin Simmons jumping off sides, guys. I don't think they were going to snap that football.
I don't either.
And so now you get up a touchdown. Now they have the ball back, and your best players cannot make that play. I mean, you can't say that enough. I mean, your best players in the first half dropping passes and making critical mistakes, and that's a critical mistake. You got to have game awareness at 4th and 4 or 4.5 from the 45-yard line. They're not going for this. They're not snapping the ball, and now it's led to this avalanche. And where it was a 4-point game, it could be out of hand here because you're getting off the field there if you don't jump offside, I think.
Yep. Nope. I agree with you. Situational awareness. Like I said, it's your best player, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a killer.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, now they're just, great play calling. Mike Bobo's in his bag here. Texas, he understands they're on their heels right now. Well, this went from a fun game that has going to be a great finish to if Texas can't get a stop right here. Look out, long fourth quarter coming.
The chat's hilarious. Y'all are making.
The chat is a wild one.
It's a wild one.
It's a wild. It's gonna be a wild post-game show.
Straight downhill gasher.
Yeah, they're sensing it, right?
The spirit of the defense. They kind of spirit. They're
That drive followed by the onside.
You can tell
the whole sequence of events.
It has really kind of it's taking an emotional toll on the defense.
Yeah.
They're really disheartened. I think is kind of the term we're looking for. They seem disheartened.
Well, and again, they had stopped this defense had stopped Georgia for the better part of 2 quarters, and this give Kirby Smart credit. That's why they're Georgia, and they've totally changed this game. Longhorns need a game-changing play right now. They need a turnover of some kind. They got to punch a ball loose.
They need a big play. That's why I said they need a negative play. Like they just them holding serve is not going to be just good enough. They need a big play. Like period.
Yeah, the reality of this. Another injury. Is that Frazier? The reality here for the Texas defense is if you hold them to a field goal, you're a 2-touchdown game. That's the best you can hope for right now, is to hold them to the field goal and get this to 24-7-10 and see if you can go score on offense. If you can get it 24-7, that's your best case scenario.
Well,
that's doable for Texas, considering what we've seen from Texas in crisis mode. When I talk about crisis mode all the time, you get down in crisis mode, you've actually had some of your best work offensively when you've been down 14-something points in games this season. Hopefully that's the case, and you've been able to make it a game. Ohio State, that was the case. You had some late game theatrics versus Florida, and then of course we know the Mississippi State game. So there is hope if Texas gets down 14.
I would agree, but you can get it to 28-10, you're done. So
yeah, they score a touchdown. It's over.
Well, and I would say this. I like your word and your adjective, Jerry, disheartening, because it felt like Texas had swung the momentum back. And the disheartening part of the first half, the most disheartening play was probably the Ryan Wingo drop on a 3rd down on the first drive. But the other drop passes, those are just disheartening. And then to have a big special teams play taken off the board on a holding call. And now this, you've flipped it, and then Colin Simmons gets, called for jumping off sides. You give Kirby credit for the play call and Mike Bobo for the play call on the 4th and short from the 36-yard line. But, you had them stopped again, and then a jump off sides leads to this. And now these are just, I know people I don't see the chat like you guys see it. So if you've got super chats, throw them up there, Matthew. But when we say your best players have to play their best in the biggest of games to win games, the coaches will get, criticized, and Sark and PK and all this, but players got to make plays, man. And you can't make dumb plays in these plays. And that's what Texas is doing tonight.
I want to bring this up because people have asked a lot about this. And I said something when the touchdown was scored. And this is not blame game. Texas undisciplined football is what's costing them. Matt Haley said, and about 10 other people have commented, why wasn't the ball spike a penalty? That's a great question. Because London Humphrey spiked the hell out of that ball after the touchdown. And that was easy to call. The ball was 10 yards up in the air after the spike. That flag should have been thrown. That should have been 15 on the kickoff. And what would have happened on that is you don't onside kick it. You do not onside kick that football from your own 20-yard line if that spike was called. So I'm just saying. But Texas hasn't been played disciplined enough. But that was that non-spike.
That's a critical call. Would they have penalized the point after touch the PAT?
It goes to the kickoff.
Oh, that is a critical play. Obviously, yeah. That's Georgia home cooking. There's no doubt about that.
And
There's no question it's against the rule.
And then Kirby does not onside kick that ball if he's backed up 15 yards. He's not going to onside kick it deep in his own territory after 15 yards.
And Texas may have had good field position because you got to punt it from the, deeper into your own end, and you give Texas a chance to return the kick.
Yeah, good point, Jerry. I didn't think about that. You're right. He doesn't do it. You're right. Could have changed that decision.
Wait, no. So this is the point, dude. I said no. Texas undisciplined football, but if you'll actually think. If they throw the flag on the spike like the rule says, go look up the rules, then you're backed up 15 yards on the kickoff. Do you really think he's going to onside it at that point? That's what I'm talking about, dude. I'm not making excuses. So get that crap out of here. We're talking about the game. Texas is undisciplined, and that's cost them more. But that non-call was huge because it allowed Georgia to onside kick the ball.
And to Jerry's point, the rule is pretty black letter. I mean, if you spike the football in the end zone, it's a penalty. Yep. And they call a lot of things that are, black letter law. There are things you can't do, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
This is scary to Anthony Hill.
Yeah, he just fell on the back of his head, guys.
It's a little scary.
He pulled the runner down, and, we know back of the head is the worst, but looks like he's popping right back up, just a little shaken up. Might have landed on his lineman's might have landed on his defensive lineman's foot, too, on his back or something. But either way. They need him back in there because this is a big 2nd and 9. If you get into 3rd and manageable, this is force a field goal time and still plenty of time on this clock to get back in this game. But you got to have a stop here and force a field goal.
Gotta have a stop. Like this is. I mean, you got your most important couple of downs of the season right here defensively.
Yeah.
All right, big 2nd down here. Big 3rd, yeah, because 2nd down leads to a 3rd down where you can come after something. They get to 3rd, and I'm thinking because you guys have talked about what Georgia can't do is turn the ball over here or have a negative play. They're going to do something I think pretty simple. Could be a screen pass, could be a little swing route. They're going to do something simple to take care of the football and try to get some positive yards on this.
You're right about that, John. I see the crisis mode thing. I brought it up. They get down 14. We in crisis mode.
Yeah, and again, that's why you're pointed out validly, Rod. If they keep it to 14, they will go into that, and they've been very good in that role this year.
Nick says, OU and A&M in the playoff in Texas in the Texas Bowl. Come on, man.
Well, there it was. He kind of knew it was going to be something simple. Gunnar Stockton off right side on this little power sweep. And they're not gonna put the ball in harm's way here. Kirby won't do it, and they're not gonna do anything to create a negative play.
This guy came into the game averaging over 7 yards per rush on design runs. So, and that's been a weapon for him, and it was in this game too. Power. Oof.
Hey guys, if Georgia wins this game, are they in the CFP?
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah,
okay.
Because
Derek. No
Agreed.
doubt.
Yeah, because they have Charlotte next week, which would get them to 10-1, even if they lose to Georgia Tech on the road or in Atlanta. 10-2.
Yeah. By the way, they won't lose to Georgia Tech.
No, they're not. They're not. No. Georgia Tech's kind of going the wrong direction right now. They will not, even though it's a rivalry game, they will not. Even though Georgia Tech may just try to take possessions out of that game and slow it down and run it 50 times for 85 yards. I don't think they'll lose that game either. But yeah, this is kind of their hurdle game.
When I decided to pick Georgia in this game, when I heard the report that Kirby texted Sark on his way to Mississippi State, I said, "Hold up, he texted Sark on his way to Mississippi State."
All right, there's Lawson Lucky on the touchdown catch.
And you know why I said that? This is why I said it, because I talked to some coaches and they said, yeah, I play a lot of, I coach against a lot of my friends, but I don't text them usually the week of. I don't really do that. And I was like, so he texted the week of. I know they're good friends. And you know what I think he wanted from Sark? Because what do you know about a coach on his bye week? What's he going to be doing on his bye week? Watching his upcoming opponent, right? You know he's going to do that.
Yeah.
You know he's going. Like whatever you're doing, I know you're going to sit down and watch that game. You're going to watch it live. I think he was texting Sark just knowing, like, hey, man, I know you're watching this game. And was it a coincidence? What was Georgia's best game of the year?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. I think he was telling Sark, don't watch the film, brother. Watch this Mississippi State game. Watch what we do to the team that took you to overtime. You want to know? That's what you need to do. You watch that. I think he told his guys, hey, Sark's watching, guys. I just texted him. I just told him, watch this. I think that's what he told his guys.
He's got some basketball trash talk or smart trash talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. I think
he's got some playground hooper talk to him.
Yeah, but like in this game, this is why Kirby Smart is Kirby Smart, and this is the power program of the country. Texas scored that touchdown to make it a 4-point game with, I just looked it up, 5:27 to go in the third quarter. They're going to get the ball back down 4. They're down 4. They're now going to get the ball back down 18 with under 9 minutes to play in the game.
Yeah.
Because Kirby went.
Yeah,
because Kirby went for it.
You got no shot.
Well, I'm just saying, when Texas scored the touchdown to Ryan Wingo, there were still right at 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they had the momentum. Kirby has completely taken this game over by going for it on fourth down twice, getting it, going for an onside kick, getting it, scoring, and just taking the heart out of Texas. And now the game's an 18-point game. That's coaching, Rod and Jerry. That's seizing the game when you kind of could sense it. You kept saying kill shot, Rod. It's just like a slow, methodical kill shot, and it's just belief. And it's impressive to watch. It's frustrating as a Longhorn fan, I know that, but there's a reason Georgia's been this good. And think about this: by my math, well, it'll be Georgia A&M in the SEC championship game at this point, right? With Alabama's loss today. Well, no, because Alabama. No, it'll be Alabama. It'll still be Bama because they beat Georgia head-to-head. So Georgia has a chance to make the playoff easy and not play in the championship game. This is a team nobody wants to play right here.
No, I agree with that. That's a scary thought because you're going to get, they got the coaching advantage. And they got the pedigree. They got the pedigree too. So, and he's got extra time to prepare and get healthy. Yeah, that's scary. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to get ready for the post game.
Yep.
See you, Rod. All right, let me tell you about Driven Auto Service because I tell you about Driven Auto Sales in the second quarter. Jeremy Jones and his team. But, in addition to having drivenoutosales.net, Jeremy has his team at Driven Auto Service. That's here in Buda, Texas. They have a location in San Marcos as well called Garland Transmission and Service. That's where they do high-level repairs on cars. So if you have a vehicle that you either bought at Driven Auto Sales or are thinking about every car that they sell through Driven Auto Sales goes through the shop at Driven Auto Service. And that's where they put the powertrain warranty on it and the full well check and all the things you want when you make sure you buy the car. But then once you do buy the vehicle, you're going to want to take it to one of these two great locations, Driven Auto Service in Buda, Texas, also Driven Auto Garland Transmission and Service. That is right there in New Braunfels. So if you live down in the Braunfels area, south of San Marcos, they've got that great location. It's right across from the Buc-ee's there on 35 on the other side of the freeway. Great spot. Both places, high level for all of your vehicles. They're going to be much, much, much better than the dealership. I promise you to get your car, repaired and back on the road. And it's just such a great business that they run because they sell great cars to Driven Auto Service or drivenoutosales.net, and then they maintain those cars for you at their two great shops. And I can tell you, it really gives you confidence when you buy a vehicle at the website drivenoutosales.net that you're getting a great vehicle because they put it through the full well check. Full checkout. You're going to buy a great vehicle. They won't put a car on the Driven Auto Sales that hasn't been completely meticulously inspected, and that's all done at Driven Auto Service. All right, Johnny Utah. I can't see that chat. Go ahead and read that, Jerry.
I hate to go here, but Sark was outcoached by a country mile. Yeah, hard to argue with it. I mean, somebody's 3-0 against you, barring a major collapse here. And the thing about it is, somebody else said in the chat earlier, Georgia defense isn't even that good this year, and I agree with that. Georgia defense is – I mean, look, see if Texas scores here in the last 9 minutes of this ball game, but Tennessee scored 41. Alabama scored 24 in Athens. Ole Miss scored 35 in Athens. Florida scored 20 last week or 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, this is not the Georgia dominant defense that they've had in years past. And Brooks Austin, everybody's talked about that. So this is not a great defensive Georgia football team. That needs to be said.
Well, there's going to be a sack and possibly a fumble. It's fumbled, but recovered by Texas. Arch Manning, they're coming after him now. They know it's, as Rod called it, panic mode and scramble mode. Jerry, your dad was a football coach for a long time. I understand you as a coach and your staff have to prepare your players, but all I'm talking about today is drop passes, dumb mistakes, Colin Simmons jumping off sides.
Yes.
Is that on the coaches? Is that on Sark? I mean, those are major mistakes by the best players on your team, and I don't know where to put that and categorize that as the coaching side of it versus Kirby's guys have made no mistakes. So I have to give Kirby huge credit for that.
I think the issue you have is somebody covers Texas or a fan of Texas. If it's one bad game, that's something. If we're 10 games in and you can look back at the same mistakes over and over again, then you call it is what it is. It's an undisciplined football team.
Yeah,
I mean that's just right. If we're gonna be real, let's call it what it is. This has been an undisciplined football team, and again, we're seeing the same things over and over again that are not being corrected.
That's correct. That's well said. Yeah, it's just frustrating that your best players that are dropping passes, and but you're right, they've been doing it all year. This wasn't a one-game deal for sure, and now it's going to be a quick 3 and out. And this thing, Longhorns have taken a hit as far as the college football playoff today because Oklahoma's win, and this thing could become a score that if you just see it in the scorebook is, that's ugly on the heels of the Florida loss. 5 games ago, this could turn into a big number. But if you're watching this game with, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 4-point ball game, and the Longhorns were in it, but Georgia's just taking it away from them and, ripped their heart out at this point.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting in a game like this. Is Georgia's going to have the ball in the 40-ish, less 30.
Yeah, and their special teams are. Jeff Banks' special teams having a rough night. Obviously, the receivers are having a rough night. It's just been rough. It felt like this game's closer than it is, but Kirby Smart has just snatched this away from Steve Sarkisian in a bad way.
Well, this is where these games get interesting because the game in the SEC game, the game of football in the season is number 1. Number 2 is not spring football. Number 2 is recruiting, then spring football in order of importance for fans. Kirby ain't taking his foot off the gas right here. He wants to punch this dude in.
No doubt.
There's recruiting implications. There's messaging. He's going to try to score a touchdown.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt.
He wants to punch one in.
Let me just tell you, as frustrated as Longhorn fans are, and obviously we're expressing that frustration with you here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. I've just last 2 weeks watching Georgia closely during the bye week, and this is a team no one's going to want to play come playoff time. I know their defense isn't as good. Their offense is so efficient. They have a quarterback who's tough as nails. They've got receivers, running backs, tight ends. There's not a super team this year. We saw Alabama go down to Oklahoma. Ohio State hadn't really been tested. I'd put some chips on this Georgia team, big picture, because they're going to make the playoff.
Yeah, his team's getting a lot. Yep, his team's getting a lot better at the right time.
Yeah, and that's the real frustrating part to the get out coach part, because I asked you that question about when players make mistakes, do you blame the coaches? But at the same time, it's been all year long, and it felt like end of October into November in the Vanderbilt game, Texas was coming through that. And they come out and have this, 10 penalty, performance with all the miscues and mistakes, and Georgia's just now they're steamrolling them. And you're right, for recruiting, for the little rivalry that's going on here on the recruiting trail, they're going to punch this in. They're going to try to at least.
No doubt. And then they'll blitz them coming back on the next possession.
Yeah, there's no let up.
No.
What'd you think of Rod's point about Kirby texting Sark that was almost a macho move? Like, it seems friendly, but at the same time, there's a message sent there, because that's very odd for a coach on his way to a game to text his next opponent, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, and everybody talked about the Billy Napier showing up at a practice thing, right? That Billy Napier gives Kirby Smart any information to beat Texas. He doesn't need any information to beat Texas. Is it a little gamesmanship? Maybe. Is it more about, hey, let's get Jaden Ball to the portal to Georgia? Probably. If I got a spot as an analyst, would you be considering it? Because we're really good friends and have been for many, many years. There's a lot of elements to it, but the gamesmanship part of it is what was talked about in social media. So I think it was a little bit of everything, even with something like that. No, noted Billy Napier give Kirby Smart one thing to help him win this game? Absolutely not. But the gamesmanship part of it, there's some gamesmanship. Look, Kirby's a SEC lifer that is coached a decade under Nick Saban. He is Nick Saban's protege. This is the protege of Nick Saban. Not that Nick did things like that necessarily, but he knows how to take things to the nth degree.
All right. Well, they just flashed a stat up there, Jerry, that goes to how Kirby has snatched this game and his team has snatched this game away from Texas. They put up a stat about fourth quarter yards, Texas -6. They haven't had the ball, Jerry. I mean, Texas scored that touchdown with 5.5 to 6 minutes to play in the third quarter, and they ran out the third quarter, went for it on fourth down 2 times, used most of the fourth quarter, to finish that drive early in the fourth quarter, then goes for an onside kick. And not only did they go down and score a touchdown, they used another 4 or 5 minutes, and now they force a 3 and out where Texas goes off the field. And this is a masterclass by Kirby, and Sark's team has been their own worst enemy. But I'll come away from this really impressed with Kirby Smart's team, because I have seen them this year look. I know the Ole Miss game, but I just thought that this team doesn't look anything like that Ole Miss team at all to me.
No.
I know you can say that's about Texas not taking advantage of it, or that Tennessee team they played early this year, even the Auburn game. Kirby's team is getting better and better. I haven't wanted to admit it myself, but Sark is solidly a decent coach, not great. We need great. Keep seeing the same issues crop up.
I mean, look, you say you got to give Sark credit for getting Texas to 2 college football playoff national semifinals in a row. We talked about it going into this game. This was a huge game for Steve Sarkisian personally. Because
100%.
what's going to come out of this is you're 0-3 against Kirby, you're 0-2 against Ryan Day, and you're 0-2 against Kalen DeBoer. So to that super chat, you can't be considered in that green. I know people say, well, Kalen DeBoer lost today. Yeah, well, he went to a national championship game at Washington. And he's a really good football coach. But you're 0-7 against those guys now. So that matters. It absolutely matters. And it's got to be some soul searching and some real tough conversations within. Jerry's Jack Links. Georgia plays confident and borderline cocky. We're playing like we're trying not to make mistakes and don't want to lose. We never keep our foot on the gas. I think it's hard to keep foot on the gas if you're an undisciplined team, though. And that kind of goes into what you're saying, trying not to make mistakes or just not making plays. But it's hard to keep your foot on the gas when you're undisciplined. I'll say that.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I think that's a great point, Jerry, because as a human and a player, it can be demoralizing when your guys just keep dropping passes and penalties on a big kick return and jumping off sides. I mean, it's just death by paper cuts, and it's just like, God dang. And yes, Georgia plays cocky. They play, punch you in the face, smash mouth football. And this team, thought they were ready for it. And obviously the trend line from the Mississippi State second half comeback to the Vanderbilt game felt good, but this team's come out of the break and are still making all the same mistakes they've made the whole time. Why did it seem like Sark won't consider short routes and crosses, take the yards bit by bit? Doesn't have to be explosive plays every time.
Well, I mean, we had some crossers drop this year. Had some bad throws from March this year on crossers. Whether you go to red zone against Ohio State was a bad throw. I mean, Ryan Wingo's dropped some. It's not that Sark hasn't ran those. Texas has been extremely poor converting that easiest route this year. Texas basically got manhandled 3 times by Georgia. Yes. I mean, it's an inarguable point. I mean, there's the touchdown on 3rd and 4 Georgia's up to 132 rushing yards. If they get the ball back, they may get to 145-ish, 140. But, yeah, I mean, this has been a game. And Texas did better in the SEC championship game, but this is a game where you walk away in all three and say Georgia was more physical football team. Bottom line. I mean, we talked about it going into the game, and there's no way around it. Georgia's is the more physical football program. They have a more physical offensive style of football. They have a more physical mindset. It is what it is. I'm not does getting blown out keep you out of the CFP, Quentin? I mean, this is going to be a tough one to overcome. I mean, look, if it's actually a good thing that A&M won today. So if you beat A&M, who's 11-0 at home, and you get the 9-3, I don't know. The problem is Utah. How far do you fall behind Utah now? The other thing is with Oklahoma winning, if they win out, they're 10-2. What happens if Vanderbilt wins at Tennessee and they get to 10-2? It all won't happen because Alabama has to go to Auburn. And while people say, "Oh, Alabama will win at Auburn," hell, there's been better Alabama teams that lost to Auburn, but those were also better Auburn teams. But Auburn can play defense up front, so that's a rivalry game on the road. But after this, so many things have to go. After Oklahoma won today, so many things have to go in Texas' favor to have a shot.
Well, that's 100% true. And Alabama sees the opportunity, and they're now in a position to try to make the playoff here with 2 games to go. No doubt about that. Said I have enough disappointment and frustration for the season. Sark will never beat Georgia. Go on Amazon and get me some Indiana gear for the rest of the season. Screw it, judge me. I don't care. I'm out. Thank you, Shin. Understand it. Hey, Matthew Hutchinson, can you put the drive chart up? Because I want to look at one thing here. Because I'm pretty sure Texas has, since being down 14-10, have run 3 plays to Georgia's how many? Because this is Georgia just snatching the heart out of Texas. But go to Georgia's drive chart. They went 2 plays and punt after the Anthony Hill interception. So 2 plays. They went 10, 19, and 24 plays, and pretty much the end of the third quarter and the entire fourth quarter. And Texas has run 3 plays since that touchdown. That's incredible. 3 plays, 24 plays, 12 minutes, 15 minutes of time, and 3 touchdowns to Texas's 3 total plays. That is, and the onside kick obviously was the massive play within that because it stole a possession away from Texas. But the 4th down conversions, with Texas assisting them, I mean, that's the first offensive play Texas has had a positive play on since the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, where they scored a touchdown to Ryan Wingo. That's an impressive, it was a heavyweight match, man. It was an even match out the 8th round, and then the heavyweight just beat the dog out of the opponent the rest of the way and won in a landslide. That's really, really impressive, and obviously highly discouraging if you're a Texas fan. What's our penalty numbers now, Matthew? It's got to be 11 to 1.
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Yeah.
And the non-spike call in the end zone, Jerry, turns out to be a pretty massive play. Because who knows, even if they're down, after giving up the touchdown to go down 21-10, what did that make it? Yeah, 21-10. If they don't get the onside kick, you go down and try to score. You make it a ball game. Texas just haven't had the ball since the 6-minute mark of the third quarter in this game.
Yeah. 9 penalties to 2, or the decline, so 9 to 1. Yeah, and so look, we're getting a lot in the chat. James Franklin 2.0. That's how you got to get over the hump at some point. I mean, look, Sark's been in 2 straight college football playoffs. But you got to get over the hump because right now you're 0-3 against Kirby, you're 0-2 against Day, all within a year and a half essentially, and you're 0-2.
And you're Owen. The one rival you've taken care of. Well, you're 3-1 against Oklahoma and 1-0 against Mike Elko to this point. But yes, you're 0-4.
Yeah.
Kirby, Ryan Day, and Kalen DeBoer to this point.
Yeah.
So yes.
Chat's pretty funny.
This is the fourth quarter brought to you by DrivenAutoSales.net. Well, Jerry, we'll wrap this thing up with a 2-minute warning and get ready for the post-game show. That'll be Bobby and Rod. And do you know who else is on the post tonight? It's going to be an interesting conversation because, again, it felt like it was a ball game, middle of the third quarter, and it just totally got taken over by the boa constrictor that is Georgia.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I may pop on there some. I don't know if Brian Robeson's going to be on there, but we're gonna. One of the things I'm going to look back on is, oh geez, dropped by Baxter right there. I'm going to look back and see who, if anybody, is going to have less yards than Georgia's going to give up in this game. I'm pretty sure it's a season best yards given up on defense. Some of that's Texas self-inflicted, but they've been an undisciplined team. But even Kentucky had more yards than this. I don't know about Auburn. That's one of the things I'm going to start. Auburn even had 277 yards. Texas has 220 right now. So this is the least yards Georgia's given up in a game, especially an SEC game, by a decent amount this year. And
good for that time, real good throw by Arch right there.
Really good throw, yeah. And look, I look from the fan standpoint. I mean, Texas has played Georgia 3 times. They haven't scored a touchdown in the first half of any of the 3 games. And you know that your head coach came in as an offensive guru, right, and a quarterback whisperer. But that is, I think, from the fan standpoint, other than the undisciplined football team is that we've watched and we're watching, is that part of offensively hasn't really come through. And I think that's one of the tough things for a fan base is, what was your head coach hired as? He was hired as a offensive guru, and I'm air quoting this for podcast people because I think it's the most overrated term ever, or overused term ever. But offensive guru and quarterback whisperer. Well, where are we at in that part of the equation right now? That undisciplined football team and your coach. What was he hired on, and what are you getting in return? Those are the 2 tough things for a fan base.
Well, I do think Arch Manning's had a nice game tonight.
Yes.
He's making some good throws here. I think that reviews. I think Parker Livingstone's down there. Livingston is down, but I think they're going to get the ball back for Texas here, see if they can make it somewhat respectable. Arch deserved better in the first half from his receivers. And again, Georgia's just, choked the life out of this game in the second half. I'll also say this. I know, Georgia or Ole Miss, scored on 5 straight possessions. But if you go back to that game against Georgia in October, Georgia outscored them 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Georgia allowed them 17 total yards in the fourth quarter. Kirby Smart he's the best, man. He's the best coach in college football. Ryan Day would argue right now at Ohio State, but Texas is getting whipped by the best right now. And yeah, I think the messages are right on the chat. I mean, Sark has not proven to be elite. I think he's more than average. I think he's above average, and I think he's very good, but he's not elite at this point. No. And I think that's a very fair criticism. Yeah. Because elite, but I would also say that Ryan Day wasn't elite. And, Ryan Day was on the ropes last year after the Michigan loss and won a national championship. It can change quickly, but he's just not matched up against the elite coaches in college football to this point. And that's the goal. That's the mission. And we'll see against Mike Elko and in a couple of weeks, because that's an elite team at least this year, still undefeated. What do you think about Mike Elko? Big picture, Jerry.
Look, I think the biggest test he had coming into A&M was Jimbo Fisher had no discipline and bad culture. And the question is, how, for a coach that comes in, how quickly can you change that? Now, A&M had talent on their roster. They had recruited, whatever you want to call it. They had a pretty talented roster. But he came in and flipped their culture pretty quickly. So you give a guy credit for that. You tip your hat and say, hey, man, you did a good job. And, he's got them believing. And they have belief. They have a little mojo. So you got to give him a few check marks. Look, it's not what you want to say, but you give people credit where they deserve it. He's in year 2 at A&M, and he's going to the college football playoff. You got to tip your cap to the guy and say the guy's done a hell of a job.
Well, and that's fair. And I would also say that no one could say that A&M didn't have talent on that team when he got there. So it was about culture and turning that tide. But he did and his staff. I think Colin Klein has been a great hire for them. I do think going and identifying Marcel Reed, and you probably cover recruiting. He wasn't like a big time recruit, was he?
No, he wasn't. I mean, he was a solid recruit out of Tennessee, but he wasn't like one of the top ranked guys nationally. But he's a solid prospect when they got him out of state of Tennessee. He was a solid prospect.
I think they've done a great job in the portal. I mean, the kid Cassius, he's from Bowling Green, right?
Yeah,
he's from Bowling Green. I mean, that's a good find. He's one of the best pass rushers in the country. So I like what they've done. But Texas has talent, and they I still think the Florida game is the one that's going to kill them, because they could lose this game even 35-17 and lose to Ohio State. But if they didn't have that Florida loss, they'd still be in the mix right now. That's the game that's going to knock them out of this thing. Well, Ryan Wingo fell down, and that's the one, Jerry, that if you don't lose in Gainesville when you shouldn't have, this game, yes, frustrating, but it wouldn't knock you out. Now you're a 3-loss team, and your chances with Oklahoma winning today become very, very slim, because there's too many teams for not enough spots, and you're going to be the only 3-loss team.
Yeah, no doubt. That was that Oklahoma's win today pushed it to a win-out scenario for me.
Agreed. And credit to Brett Venables, because Texas beat that team by 2 scores, but they've gotten better. They've gotten John Mateer healthy, and that defense is something else, man. They were outstanding today.
Well, you got to tip your hat to him too, because look, everybody had him fired. We all did. They had a very tough schedule, and here he sits at 8-2 with 2 home games left. Missouri's got a 3rd-team quarterback, and LSU doesn't have a coach.
Arch took a hard hit that time. Arch is going to finish 27 of 43, 251 and a touchdown, passer rating of 114. Can't say enough about Gunnar Stockton. 24 of 29. He's 229 and 4 touchdowns, plus a quarterback rating of 188, essentially. Really, really good game, because Texas did a nice job on that Georgia run game. They didn't chew up, but right around 100 yards rushing with the running backs. And this was Kirby Smart. This was an onside kick. This was guts and toughness, and really taking a 14-10 game midway through the 3rd quarter and just taking it over. And, that's great coaching, Jerry, because Rod talked about, chaos, when Texas in chaos, Texas in panic mode. This guy Kirby Smart didn't let it get to that. We're not getting to where they can catch us. We're just going to control the ball and snatch it out of them. And that's going to get us to the 2-minute warning. Thank you to our friends at Driven Auto Service here in the 4th quarter. Also, thank you to Callahan's General Store, drivenoutosales.net, and our new great partners at Backer, the new line of merchandise. It's been about a year or so, but high quality, officially licensed Texas Longhorn gear, apparel, and clothing. It's online at backer.com, BCKR.com. And remember, if you want to win that $350 gift card, which could help your night, because it's not a great night for Longhorn fans, but that $350 gift card, or one of those 3 hats that Backer's going to give away, those caps, check it out and go to the website. But add the following: go to bckr.com/pages/on Texas, and that'll take you right to the link. That's bckr.com/pages/on Texas, and that's going to get you right to that sign-in page. And one of you out there is going to win a great $350 gift card to Backer, and then you can check out the gear that you want or want for the holidays, or one of those 3 hats. So thank you to all of our partners tonight. And Jerry, also Tito's Handmade Vodka, bringing it, but disappointing. Felt like a good game with 6 minutes to go, or 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. All Georgia, 21 unanswered. Yep. And they have the ball back, and they're headed to the college football playoff. Longhorns, now it's about trying to beat Arkansas and beat the Aggies. I mean, you can still have a season where if you don't make the CFP, Jerry, you beat Oklahoma, you beat the Aggies. You can lean on that a little bit, but obviously this is a very disappointing outcome for the Longhorns.
No, yeah. I mean, because look, Texas is ultimately measured. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Texas is 0 for 3. And you're ultimately measured when you move to the SEC and you're coming off a CFP and you get to the SEC championship game. You're judged against Georgia. Texas is trying to go into Georgia and recruit football players, trying to go into the SEC states and recruit football players. Well, there's no Nick Saban at Bama anymore. It moves right to Kirby Smart in Georgia and his 2 national championships, and was in the CFP last year. And with a quarterback that threw more interceptions than, I don't know, name a mascot. But you're measured against Kirby Smart in Georgia. And now they're off the schedule. So the only way you get a shot at it is in the SEC championship game in future years. But you're 0-3 against Georgia. That's who you're measured against. And you haven't got it done. And you could argue tonight the way this game ended was maybe worse than the first one in Austin, because you watched Kirby do masterclass ballsy coaching. And some people can talk about the penalties. I'm just talking about the result here. And you watch Georgia get physically win another game against you. And Texas made their mistakes. Yes, they played undisciplined football. Yes, something we've seen all year. But still, battle of physicality was once again won by Georgia. They're 3
and that's not close. That's not close.
No,
You're right about that.
They're 3 for 3, and 2 of them haven't even been close.
I would also say, I think the game you can't overlook Arkansas, but the game with A&M becomes pretty big for Sark and this staff, because you can't go 0 for these big games. Oklahoma was huge, but their quarterback was just coming off an injury and came back too soon. Not taking it away from them, but you've got to get that A&M game, and I know they're undefeated, because that Alabama win in 2023, Jerry, is getting further and further away.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that that you can only hang your hat on that for so long, because that season ended against Washington. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up. 2-minute warning time. We'll send it off. Obviously, Georgia's going to try to run out the clock here and win comfortably. Jerry, thanks so much, bud. Thank you to Jeff Howe. Phenomenal. Thank you to Rod Babers. Tremendous. And post-game show coming on Texas Football with Bobby and Rod and the whole team. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Matthew. Awesome stuff tonight. Thank you to Driven Auto Service, drivenoutosales.net, Callahan's General Store, and our great new friends at Backer, that merchandise. Check it out, bckr.com. And disappointing night for the Longhorns. They will fall to 7-3 on the year. Alabama next week here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. Thank you, guys.